NBC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Winters can hang around a little longer here in Milwaukee, so when summer arrives, they know how to celebrate in this city along Lake Michigan. June is the popular time for thousands to flock to the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds, of course home of the Milwaukee Mile and the IndyFest. It's a city known for its beer. Milwaukee has been toasting open-wheel stars for more than a century on a simple oval where there's action brewing on every lap. And on tap this weekend, an IndyCar season so competitive, 7 different drivers have won the last 7 races. It has been an incredible start to the 2013 championship season. As we welcome you to IndyCar Live, presented by Verizon, where we set the stage for today's 250-lap, 250-mile event. Hi folks, Lee Diffie with you here at the famed Milwaukee Mile. This is the oldest racing speedway in the world, older than Brooklands in the UK, older than Monza in Italy, and even older than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And after today's race, we're almost at the halfway point of this 2013 championship season. And as I just mentioned, 7 different winners in the last 7 races, 7 from 8 so far this season. The most winners in the history of an IndyCar season is 9 in a single season. So when you keep in mind, we haven't had superstars like Dario Franchitti, Scott Dixon, Will Power stand on the top step of the podium, it's a pretty good chance that that record's going to be broken. There's another driver who is a championship contender this year who also hasn't been to victory lane, and that is Marco Andretti. And Jan Beekers, you could easily say he is the man to beat this weekend.
You could say that, Will, and don't forget about the fact, or Lee, I should say, don't forget about the fact that his father, Michael Andretti, promotes this event. So maybe you could call it home course advantage, because Marco Andretti starting on the pole. The rest of the 4 Andretti Autosport cars are starting all in the top 5. They're only a fraction of a second behind. But really the key for today, not how fast you are in 2 laps, how fast are you over a whole stint, maybe over 60 laps when the tires wear. That's going to be the key to victory. Kevin?
Well, Jan, Will Power kept Andretti from sweeping the front 2 rows. He qualified 3rd, thought he even had a better car than that. He made a mistake downshifting in qualifying, but should have a great race car. Penske has won here 7 times, more than anyone, but Helio Castroneves has not won in any of his 12 starts, and he's got a long way to go to get to the front. But he's the championship leader because of his consistency, the only driver to finish every lap. So probably just looking for a result today, keep him on top of the points. Let's welcome again our friend Will Buxton.
Thanks, Kevin. Jan's already touched on one racing dynasty with the Andrettis. What about the Rahals, though? Graham Rahal not having the season that he would wish for. It's all going wrong for him, whilst conversely, it's going great for his teammate James Jakes. Jakes is in the form of his life right now, had a podium in Belle Isle, and is looking fantastic. They tried putting Jakes' setup onto Graham's car. It didn't work out. They reverted back to type. It still didn't work out. He said the car just wasn't turning into the corners yesterday, and right here in Milwaukee, that is what you need. He's taken an engine change. He starts last, and this car, which may be liveried like a bruised banana right now, sure as hell is driving like one.
And it could make for a great story, couldn't it, if he can come through the field. So keep an eye out for Graham Rahal. Of the 19 races in the IZOD IndyCar Series season, 6 are on ovals, and we're in the middle of a stint of 4 in a row. Who started this streak on ovals the best? Well, it was last week in Texas, and it was Helio Castroneves.
Here at the Firestone 550, the race leader is Marco Andretti. He has led every single lap, but here is 2nd and 3rd, Brian Hunter-Reay and Helio Castroneves.
Castroneves making a bid to become a 4-time winner here tonight.
Tony Kanaan had to come in for that late splash. Well, with those fresher tires, he's back on the lead lap. He's back in the mix.
Carpenter, he's managed to run up in the top 4 for most of the evening.
And here comes Kanaan closing for 3rd. It'll be his 4th win at Texas.
For the 28th time in his IndyCar career, Helio Castroneves is a winner. Helio Castroneves will go to the Milwaukee IndyFest with a 22-point lead in the championship over Marco Andretti.
Texas is awesome. I love this place. One more, baby.
And with that victory, Helio's only 1 away from his hero and mentor, Rick Mears. However, it wasn't all celebrations for Penske Racing post-race, because post-race tech discovered that his car was not within the aerodynamic parameters of the IndyCar Series rules. Penske Racing was fined $35,000 and lost 15 entrant or owner's points. With more on Helio Castroneves, here's Jan.
And after all that celebration, Elio, that you had in Texas, how much of a concern that night when you found out there was a problem with the car?
I didn't know, actually. Cindric and the rest of the team kind of spared me at least 1 or 2 days to let me know. I was shocked, to be honest, because the guys did a hell of a job. And I said, listen, especially when the problem that we had didn't make the car go fast. So I said, guys, let's not disallow us them to, outshine what we did, because it was a hell of a job. The setup was great. And now we're here in Milwaukee, so we got to keep going.
Big challenge today for Castroneves. Didn't go well in qualifying, but hopes the race car should be good.
I changed my pants already, so it's fine now.
Okay, Kevin.
Well, Elio and everyone else is chasing this guy, Marco Andretti, who won his 3rd pole here. So how good is the race car?
Willie Power and I were laughing. I don't want to give you an answer on that because we thought we had good cars at Texas for a while, which we started out okay, and but Will ended up struggling there, but he thought he had a good car, and I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here. I think we should be all right, though.
Your consistency has moved you to 2nd in the championship. You've been steady all year, but how anxious are you to break through and win again?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be huge. I think we have the car to do it. But I've been jonesing for a win so bad, and hopefully we can start here.
All right, Marco Andretti looking for win number 3 here today, leading the field, Lee.
And Kevin, if you thought the Castroneves comment was a little bit cryptic, he was referring to a very scary race car or qualifying car yesterday. As we bring you up to speed on the IZOD IndyCar Series points at the moment, with that pole, Marco Andretti draws within 21 of Elio. Ryan Hunter-Reay is only 27 back. The big movers in this field have been Tony Kanaan, the Indy 500 champion, and Dario Franchitti working his way up. Simon Pagenaud as well. So, and for the first time this season, Chip Ganassi sees 2 of his 3 drivers in the top 10 for the first time. 7th with Dixon, 10th with Franchitti. Speaking more about the Milwaukee Mile, we have had 5 different winners the last 5 times out. Kanaan won in 07, that man there, Briscoe, won in 08. In 09, it was Scott Dixon. There was no race here in 2010. And then, of course, things fired back up in 2011 with Dario Franchitti. And then Andretti Autosports and the defending series champion, Ryan Hunter-Reay, victorious last year. You're watching IndyCar Live, brought to you by Verizon. Welcome back to the Milwaukee IndyFest here just west of downtown Milwaukee for round 9 of the IZOD IndyCar Series Championship. Driver introductions are underway right now, and we are getting closer and closer to seeing the start of the race at this famed venue. Been racing here since 1903, of course. Originally started out as a dirt track and was quite that way for half a century. It wasn't paved until the early 1950s. The who's who of motorsport have raced here and been victorious here. But one thing you can be assured of is action at the Milwaukee Mile. There's only 9.5 degrees of banking in the turns. This is an incredibly challenging and fast. Qualifying average lap speed was 170 miles an hour yesterday. That's why this is an action-packed oval, and we'll see more of it today. And there have been some magical wins here. Roger Ward with the most, with 7. Michael Andretti, who is the promoter of this event, with 5. And then look at the legends on that list. And look right down the bottom. There's 3 two-time winners in this field. They say winning your first championship is tough, but defending it is even harder, so spare a thought for Ryan Hunter-Reay. But RHR, as we affectionately call him, and he is known, holds the Milwaukee Mile in a very special place in his heart, because he won here last year, and this was the beginning of something special.
The Milwaukee IndyFest is underway. Michael Andretti put so much on the line to restore this historic race. Now his driver's going to go into victory lane.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, his 2nd win in Milwaukee.
Happy Father's Day to my dad at home. This one's for you.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, West Iowa. You'll see the twin checkers for the 2nd straight week.
Ryan Hunter-Reay wins the Iowa Corn Indy 250.
3 in a row for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He will take over the championship lead by 34 points.
That was awesome. 3 in a row. I don't even know what to think about this.
And that streak is what set up his championship run. Just have a look at the point swing. So we're only entering round 9 of 19. There are some big names back in this championship, but look what Ryan did last year. From after Texas, 75 points down. After Toronto, 34 ahead. And that win started here in Milwaukee last year. So you can turn things around, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is proof of that. With more on RHR, here's Will.
Thanks, Lee. Down here with Ryan Hunter-Reay. Ryan, one race win under your belt already this season. How confident are you of repeating that this afternoon?
I just love Milwaukee. You know, this track's been great to us, and Andretti Autosport certainly has some great race cars here, but we'd love to get the #1 DHL Chevy back in DHL victory lane here. This is where we started our whole championship run last year. We certainly don't expect to go 3 straight like we did last year. We just expect to be competitive, to be putting ourselves in a position to win races. That's the ultimate goal, and we're looking to do that today. But a little bit different balance this weekend. Everybody's had that, so it's a challenge to get the car right from beginning to end of the stint. I think we'll see that that's going to be the key to the race. It's going to be strong in the beginning and at the end, and it's really difficult to do with what we found for grip this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and it rained, of course, last night as well, meaning much tougher proposition for all you guys. But you know what it takes to win here. What does it take to win here?
Well, the rain will take a little bit of rubber off the track, and we did that. We had that last year, so as the race goes on, the balance will get better and better. The grip will get more and more. You see actually a second lane being worked at times as the race goes on, but that may take a little bit of time. But we know what it takes to win here. It's going to be an intense race. This place is always action-packed, and you know, in the car it's busy. You feel like you're really not going straight ever. You feel like you're just turning the whole time. So I love it. I love the next track we're going to at Iowa as well. But we'll try and get the #1 DHL Chevy up there.
You guys have been flying all weekend. Looking forward to what you can do in the race. Thanks very much.
Thanks, buddy.
Jan.
And Will, of course, his teammate James Hinchcliffe is starting on the front row, but after practice, you were only 16th. What happened?
That's a good question. A miracle happened. No, it's hard work. You know, the Andretti Autosport guys obviously did a great job, and to get the GoDaddy car on the front row was huge because, you know, we spoke after practice. It wasn't great, and it was a bit of an act of faith going into that first flying lap. The thing was going to hold, and it did. But 2 laps is one thing, 250 is a completely different thing, and you know, I guess Ryan was just chatting about keeping this thing under you for a full stint. It's going to be tough here today, especially after the rain that we've seen.
So with your problems in practice, are you more concerned about those long runs?
I would imagine so, yeah. You know, Marco had an awesome car in practice, and you can look at that and see that, and we were, I think, statistically probably the worst of our team anyway, and the problem is you've got so many teammates that are just as good or better. You know, it's going to be a tough weekend, but we've done a bunch of changes to the car. We've been fairly aggressive. You know, we don't want to fall back. We want to get back on form and have a good result for the GoDaddy car here in Milwaukee, and we'll see, man. Marco's going to be tough to beat. Ryan's going to be tough to beat. DJ's going to be tough to beat, and yeah, I guess there's 20-something other jokers out there that are going to be pretty tough too.
A lot of unknowns. Sounds like a great race. Kevin?
Tony Kanaan is one of the 7 different winners we've had so far this season, and he won the big one, the Indianapolis 500. But there's not much time to relax and enjoy because you've been racing every week, including a doubleheader and all that goes along with it. What have the last 3 weeks been like?
Crazy. I haven't been home since Brazil, actually, but it's been good. Obviously, promoting the win, it's a good problem to have, Kevin. But we're being extremely busy. But you know, I'm enjoying every moment of it.
You're back in the championship hunt now in 4th. You've had a lot of success here. What are the keys to making this a good race today?
It's a good track for us, but the key will be consistency. I think at this track you can see a lot of fast cars right away, and after 30 laps, some of their cars will not handle as good, and they can go from the front to the back really quick, and vice versa. So we have Helio starting 18th, which is, you know, one of the strongest cars on race sim that we saw. So, and we have some, you know, it's going to be hard to beat the Andretti guys today, but our record here, it's not that bad. So I like my chances.
Yeah, he's been in the top 4 in 6 of the last 8 here. Tony Kanaan rolls off 7th today.
And TK says the Andretti guys will be hard to beat. He enjoyed 2 victories driving for Michael Andretti. And there is Michael's son, Marco. He has led every single session this weekend. Will that continue into the race? Quick reminder about Verizon streaming live. To download IndyCar 13 app, simply call ** Indy or search the App Store or Google Play. Of course, only from Verizon. Well, weather has been a consideration here this weekend, but thankfully as everybody assembles before the race start, the weather is looking good. Race control has been keeping a watchful eye on things, and although there's clouds above, we are good to go racing. Now, while everyone prepares for this race, there has been a lot of thought this weekend because for those of you who don't know, very sad to report the loss of a motorsport family member earlier this week on Wednesday. Jason Leffler lost his life in a sprint car race in Bridgeport, New Jersey. A lot of the cars are running the decals. Leffler, who made his name in USAC racing in open wheel sprints, midgets, he achieved his dream of racing at the Indy 500. He also did the Brickyard 400. He raced in NASCAR Sprint Cup 1 races in NASCAR Nationwide Series and the Camping World Truck Series. Jason Leffler is survived by his 5-year-old son, Charlie. He was 37 years old. Yes, on this Father's Day weekend, there are many proud dads in this field, and there's Michael Andretti. Of course, his father, Mario, very proud of him because together, Mario and Michael have the most father-son wins at any circuit, 9 here at the Milwaukee Mile. And from Mario's first one in '66, it was 20 years until Michael was able to achieve the same in 1986. And speaking of Andretti, Michael's company, Andretti Sports Marketing, has done a fabulous job of promoting and resurrecting the real festival feel of this event, IndyFest. And there is something for everyone of all ages. There's a terrific midway in the concession area, the Ferris wheel, there's rides, there's been live rock concerts, there's been plenty going on the infield. The Turbo Turtle there, look forward to that movie coming out. So well done to Andretti Sports Marketing for really getting a good atmosphere happening here at Milwaukee IndyFest. All right, are you ready for a grid walk ×2? Because Will Buxton is joining Robin Miller. Robin, take it away.
All right, Lee, we're going to start this thing. Mr. Franchitti, you're starting pretty far back. Michael Andretti won this race from 17th once. What do you think?
Well, we're a bit further back than that today, but I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, Robin. We've got to get going here on the start and not be the first guy the leaders come to, you know what I mean? Because the leaders in 15 laps will be on you, so...
Use the chrome horn, brother. Right. Good luck. Will.
Thanks, mate. Down here with my old friend Ernie Vizo. Ernie, mate, you've got great this weekend. How are you feeling for the race?
Well, I think we have a very strong package. I think this is one of our races I've done here. I've done pretty good in the past, and today we have a good chance. We have a strong package, very quick car. We showed it with 4 cars in the top 5, so I'm very looking forward to it.
Good to see you again, my man. Robin!
All right, Ganassi, there used to be a bounty on your cars because you won all the time. When are you going to win one of these things?
Well, I'll tell you, we're in a little bit of a slump here right now. No question. I saw you on TV the other night talking about that, so I guess I got to get my act together, don't I?
Get your act together, brother. All right, Will, back to you.
Oh, thanks. I'm trying to find Ryan Briscoe down here. I think he might be asleep right now, you know, because he's been popping between Europe and the States, given that he's doing Le Mans. No, wait, there's Elio over there. No, we've spoken to him already today, haven't we? Where is everybody? I don't want to run in front of the flag and get that all messed up. Robin, I hear you've got somebody, though, mate.
Simona, been a lot of first-time winners this year. What do you think about today?
I don't know. We're starting a little bit far, but, you know, anything can happen. So I think we have a pretty strong car in the race trim, so hopefully we're going to end up a little bit higher up for sure.
All right, use the outside groove, kid. Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much. Down here with Takuma Taku, my man. How are you looking today? I know you ran so well in practice.
Yeah, we were strong, and we had a little bit moment in the qualify, but I believe we have a strong car.
Thanks very much, Taku.
Okay, thanks.
Pole sitter at Indy, Ed Carpenter. You had a little trouble in qualifying. How's this thing going to be race day?
We're going to be all right. I felt pretty good about our race car the whole time, so as long as we can stay on the lead lap early, we'll be in good shape.
All right, you guys stick around. We'll be back right after this commercial break. The Milwaukee race, and believe me, it's going to be a different winner today. It's not going to be the same guy. You got to trust me. I called Ed Carpenter last year at Fontana.
Proudest moment I've had since I've been serving is actually just being a part of an organization that means so much not only to the community but the nation as a whole, and being able to put the uniform on every day and represent not only our country but the people that have served before me. Having my dad here to be at the race on Father's Day weekend, and then being a father myself, just makes it feel good to be a part of something and be successful and to keep moving forward, and then to have the comforts of your family and friends around is definitely a proud moment.
Not long now until we see the cars grid up and start round 9 of the series. This is the Milwaukee IndyFest. Time now to welcome in our analysts for this weekend's race. Townsend Bell is back with us after a successful run at the Indianapolis 500. That's not Wally Dallenbach. It's David Hobbs from the NBC Sports Network F1 team. David, great to have you with us for this weekend to add your perspective on open wheel racing. But I'm sure for you, being a Milwaukee resident, lots of happy memories from this place.
Well, absolutely. I'd always heard about this when I lived in England, and of course when I moved over here in 1993, I came to the fantastic race which featured, of course, Nigel Mansell, who had just won the World Championship. There's Raul Basell leading him. Here's Mario Andretti and Nigel Mansell duking it out around here at massive speed, big crowd, and this was one of the most exciting races I had ever seen up till that time, including a lot of Formula One races, because when these guys get in the traffic, boy, oh boy, it is absolute mayhem. And there's Paul Newman, of course, he was a co-owner of the team. Nigel Mansell, his first win at the Milwaukee Mile. Terrific.
Well, some of the drivers you hear say if your car is set up right, you're going to attack these corners like a road course. It's the kind of spectacular action we expect from the Milwaukee Mile. David got to have a special run yesterday with Townsend. Take a look at this in this week's GoPro course preview. Townsend, this was truly special.
Lee, this was amazing. We've done some really neat GoPro course previews this season, but this was truly unique. This is a V16 powered 1931 Miller built in Los Angeles. And David, pretty tight getting in there these days.
It was very tight fit. Nowhere for your feet to go. Starter motors and all sorts of other gubbins on the floor.
I was absolutely blown away at how smooth this car was. You see the front end kind of shimmying around, but behind the wheel, I felt none of that. It was very precise, and after half a lap, like any racing driver, I was just ready to get after it with those skinny little tires and over 300 horsepower.
And that was the same time I told you to get out of it. But I also had to operate the fuel pump to keep the pressure up, so I suppose in the last resort, if you'd gone too fast, I could have just stopped pumping.
You did a great job pumping the fuel there for me, keeping the fuel pressure up. But it was so sweet to get a sense for what these guys used to do. Incredibly brave back in the day. No seat belts. You know, our heads sticking way out of there, but I had so much fun I didn't want to stop at all. Coming here into turn 3, you really started to feel the tires wiggle around a little bit. Then I saw those track sweepers out there and decided I better back out of it. It was only till after the drive that I found out this car is worth almost $4 million.
Yikes.
And I'm sure glad I didn't hear that before I got in. I would have been shaken.
But it was very, very impressive. That V16 was so smooth. When you gave it some gas, I mean, it really accelerated, and very, very smoothly as well.
Well, great Miller event up at Milwaukee here next weekend, Lee.
And we should also say a big thank you to Dana Meekum, who actually owns that car and is very relieved that it came back in one piece. Let's get to the business at hand. This race today, I can remember back in 08, you passed 11 cars on the first lap. Is that kind of racing possible here with this new DW12?
It can be done. You have to be brave. And there are two drivers in this series that are super brave. It's Marco Andretti and Tony Kanaan. Marco starting on pole. We don't have to worry about him. He's got clean air. Tony Kanaan starting back in 7th. He told me, I'm going to go for it, Townsend. I'm going to go high on the start, see if I can get up and break into that Andretti freight train. He's got to do it on the first or second lap or else they slot in. Once that happens, watch for about lap 50 because that's when the tires really start to fall off a cliff. That's what we've been told from the engineers.
You've been watching IndyCar Live presented by Verizon. That's it. We have set the stage. When we come back, we look for the command. We'll have the final check-in with the boys on pit road. We'll show you the grid, and we will go racing. Stick around. Milwaukee. Even before they were racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they've been racing here since 1903. Several drivers mastered this flat mile oval built on the friendly confines of the state fairgrounds. Roger Ward won here 7 times, AJ Foyt 4, and the Andrettis have 9 victories between Mario and Michael. Today, an IndyCar season that has seen 7 different winners from the last 7 races will turn 250 laps at the mile. And separated by only 27 points, the 3 drivers at the top will find little room for error at one of IndyCar's tightest tracks. 2 of those, Marco Andretti and Helio Castroneves, have never finished a season on top, while Ryan Hunter-Reay's victory here last season was a catalyst for his title run. And 21 other drivers know that for more than a century, Milwaukee has celebrated some and bidden others. The mile awaits. Your home of open wheel racing, the NBC Sports Network is proud to welcome you to live coverage of round 9 of the IZOD IndyCar Series. This is the Milwaukee IndyFest at the famed Milwaukee Mile. The weather is on our side. These drivers fully appreciate all who have come before them here on this magical little track that produces such fabulous racing. Is it inside line? Is it outside line? And there's a good crowd on hand here on this Father's Day weekend to see the best in the business in this incredibly deep field Will we get another different winner? Time now for those important words to get things going.
Milwaukee IndyCar fans, are you ready? It's time for those most famous words in all of sports. Please welcome, from Milwaukee Fox 6 news anchor, Mr. Ted Perry, to give the command.
Thank you, Michael.
Drivers, start your engines!
Good to hear those words, even better to hear the engines. Let's check in with the boys on pit road one final time. Let's start with Jan Beekers. Jan?
And Lee, of course, 25 more laps to play today for Marco Andretti and all the rest of the field. Consider a great opportunity for Marco Andretti to get his first win. But right behind him, Will Power, shockingly, has yet to win this season. He loves his race setup. Kevin?
Well, we've already had 3 first-time winners this year. If you're looking for number 4, it could be this guy right here, E.J. Viso, starting in the top 5 for the 6th consecutive race. He's finished as high as 6th this year. Somebody to watch from Andretti. And then over there is Sebastian Saavedra, another young driver, just 22. This is his best start ever, 6th. Watch for him from Dragon Racing. Will.
And what about this man right here, Ryan Briscoe? It's his first oval in the National Guard car. He's feeling confident going into this. I tell you what, I was speaking to him before he got in the car. He said, you remember Indy? You remember how aggressive I was? That's exactly what I'm going for today, boys. Early laps, I'm pushing. I'm going to take this thing.
All right, Graham Rahal's been on the front row here twice, folks. He's starting last. He's struggled since finishing second at Long Beach. He's not sure what's wrong with his car, but he's having a hell of a time with it. And Dario Franchitti, you heard he won in 2007. He's led 27 laps this year. Chip Ganassi team has not won a race. Boys, it's going to be a long drive for both these guys today.
It certainly will be. And speaking of Hondas, the fastest seat in sports sweepstakes, you can be a part of it by logging on to shophonda.com and take a ride with 2-time Indy 500 winner Arie Luyendyk, like Joel Hammack of Des Moines, Iowa, is today. Hi, Joel. It's Lee Diffie in the NBC Sports Network booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Tell us about that ride.
It's unbelievable. Anybody that says they can do this is lying.
well, we thank you for your honesty and enjoy the rest of the ride with Arie. I know that he is having fun as well. And folks, by logging on to shophonda.com, Joel won that opportunity to start today's race in the IZOD 2-seater. That could be you, so log on and check in. Enjoy the ride, Joel. All right, time to take you to our grid. Let's take a closer look at who is starting where. Third career pole for Marco Andretti and his Andretti Autosport teammate James Hinchcliffe right alongside. Power thought he may have got the pole.
Yeah, Will was very impressive in qualifying. Not very quick in practice, but he jumped right up there. Hunter Ray next to him.
E.J. Viso looking hot too there. Joseph Newgarden in the first Honda engine in the field down there on row 4.
Simon Pagenaud says my qualifying is not representative of how good my car is, and James Jakes underscoring how strong he is at the moment.
Well, Justin Wilson having a strong run this year. Bourdais the guy to watch for, see if he can do something big.
Not that. Helio Castroneves, winner of the last race, right down there on row 9.
Yeah, not his worst start, David, but it's certainly not one of his best here at Milwaukee. And then we go back to the two guys who had their engine changes, and they get put back. All right, let's check in with some of our onboard looks. We start here with Graham Rahal, the battery tender on board. We'll see him. Will he carve his way through this field? He certainly hopes so, and his team. How about Ed Carpenter in the Verizon on board? He'll give us that view. How about Ryan Briscoe? He's got the National Guard on board. And then right here, James Jakes with the Acorn stairlifts on board will give us this view. And then Simon Pagenaud has the Lucas Oil on board view. All ready to roll. And how about Marco Andretti, the Verizon on board? Set to go, 25 laps longer than last year. This is 250 laps, 250 miles. We've had 7 different winners in 8 races so far. We are so pleased to have the IZOD IndyCar Series back on your home of open wheel racing. And it's an Andretti on the front row. But look on the outside, the series champ. They go 3 wide into turn 1. 3 Andretti cars. And it's Marco who's going to lead the way.
Andretti Autosport told me there was no team orders today. They did say they were going to tell their guys to be careful on the start, but there was nothing careful about that. Hunter Ray to the outside up to second place.
Kyle Moyer, who calls the shots for Marco, said, we discussed this. Whoever wants to lead, you can lead. Look at Will Power here on James Hinchcliffe into turn 1. Aggressive on the second lap.
Will Power there going on the inside, as you say, into 1 and 2, looking aggressive. He wants to keep up there. We heard early on, you don't want to get left out in the cold. And, of course, the two guys who are really worried here are going to be Dario Franchitti, Hinchcliffe coming back.
Yeah, nice work. Tell us more about Hinch, Kevin.
I asked George Clotes, who calls his strategy, what kind of car do you have? Remember, they had issues yesterday. We're surprised about qualifying. He said, we're all going to find out here together in a few minutes. We have no idea.
Tony Kanaan has made up 2 positions in the first 2 laps.
He did not sit still at all. Another guy that's a big mover, Sebastian Bourdais, currently up to 9th, going for it big time on the outside.
9th from 14th on the grid. He was frustrated with his qualifying effort yesterday, especially when his 23-year-old teammate, Sebastian Saavedra, got a career best in 6th.
Look at Tony Kanaan working James Hinchcliffe here. It's going to be fascinating to watch whether or not Kanaan can get grip on the low side. You see Hinchcliffe's about a full car width off the inside of the track at the apex at both ends of the corner. There's Bourdais, a big mover so far.
And of course, after that rain, the track is different to what it was yesterday in qualifying, so tyre wear will be different as they go into this first 60 laps, they hope.
And David, when we see that progress we were talking about earlier that Sebastian Bourdais has made, you predetermine that, or you just take the opportunities when they present themselves?
Absolutely. You've got to take the opportunity when it presents itself, especially on a short track like this, because they don't come up every now, very often.
Andretti Autosport 1 and 2, but look at the hunting Will Power. That black and white and red Verizon Penske Chevrolet is moving to the front and fast. He has not won. The guy who has had 3 runner-up finishes in the championship is determined to claw his way back into this championship.
Now watch what's happening here mid-corner. You see Hunter Ray ducking down to the inside to pick up clean air over the front wing. Will Power stays up to get clean air on his front wing. Will's pushing to get to the front. He wants to win this thing, but he also doesn't want to sit in that dirty turbulence longer than he's got to.
The trouble with Hunter Ray, when he pulls down to the inside there to get that clear air, he's sharpening the corner up, which of course could wear his tyres more.
All right, let's take a ride with the race leader, Marco Andretti, and have a listen.
You're not going to pass Marco, go to Mixer 3.
Now that's Hunter Ray. Hunter Ray's guys telling him, if you're not going to pass Marco, lean that engine out, start saving fuel. But he's got to run now. Let's see what happens.
Oh, boy. I would say he's definitely going to try.
Whoa! Pass for the lead. The teammates are side by side. And Marco does not want to relinquish it.
Oh boy, when Hunter Ray dropped back in behind there, he must have dropped into some very dodgy air. And look at Will Power coming now onto Hunter Ray.
I'm already seeing the mechanical excellence of these Andretti Autosport cars. What that means in turbulent air, the mechanical characteristics of their setup is superior. Hunter Ray is able to move high, low, right behind Marco. You see Will Power struggling a little bit behind Hunter Ray to stay that close.
And right behind him is still Hinchcliffe.
And look at EJ Vizo, the 4th Andretti car, making a move on Kanaan.
Will Power, as you see him work his way up, although he's drifted a little bit back from that front 2 group, he spent all of his time in practice working on race setups and likes it in dirty air. Right now, obviously, he's right in the meat of this Andretti sandwich, along with Tony Kanaan.
Sebastian Saavedra, Simon Pagenaud, and Sebastian Bourdais are having a great scrap. Saavedra has dropped them. He's been able to get up onto the back of EJ Vizo. That's the white and blue car right there. He's just turned 23. He's had a year away from IndyCar last year. He's come back in this True Car Dragon Racing entry, and he feels racy this weekend.
He feels racy, Lee, but he's got to convert to results. He's had some incredible qualifying. He's had issues at places like Long Beach, other tracks. He knows that he's got to get the job done in terms of just finishing one of these with a strong car.
He's young and brave. You remember what that feels like?
I was young and brave last month.
And there is Jay Penske, team owner of the Dragon Racing organization. He has both his boys in the top 10. Back shortly.
Command has been given. Row 1, let me know. Row 1, hot.
Live in-car cameras.
Base car rolling.
4-in-1 mosaic. Having your heart race as fast as theirs.
Here we go.
Hey, good for green.
That's powerful. Download IndyCar IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
To perfect every detail, work with a perfectionist who sweats every detail. If you want to refine a luxury car you're proud to put your name on, work with a guy whose name is his reputation. The 300C John Varvatos Limited Edition. Now lease the 2013 Chrysler 300 for $299 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Racing continues with the Santander British Grand Prix. Formula One Racing, Santander British Grand Prix, live Sunday, June 30th on CNBC.
Up next here on the NBC Sports Network, the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals continue. Coverage begins with the NHL Award Show, and then the puck drops on Game 2 between the Bruins and Blackhawks, coming up next right here on the NBC Sports Network. Did you see that the other night? 5th longest game in the history of the sport, and it went into triple overtime. So that's Game 2, Bruins Blackhawks, a little later, right after this here on the NBC Sports Network. Welcome back. We're at the Milwaukee Mile for the Milwaukee IndyFest, and Justin Wilson has had an issue. He has dropped back. He was slowing, and he got swamped.
Yeah, he really did. If you have any little hiccup mid-corner at this Milwaukee Mile, you can drop like a lead sinker very easily. Not quite sure what the issue was. He's got Ed Carpenter behind him. It looks like his pace is stabilized.
Right, let's go on board, David. This is on board with James Jakes. Look up ahead.
Whoa. Well, that's what happened to Justin Wilson. Suddenly, the front end seemed to wash out more than anything. I don't know what.
Well, the rear step, then he caught it, and the rear step again. That's called a death wiggle.
Let's check in with Will. More on Justin Wilson.
Dale, Justin's dropping back a lot. Front seems to be washing out on him. What's the issue?
Yeah, he said the front's very grabby, so he's playing with his bars and his weight jacker, and he's not having any fun right now, but we'll get it fixed for the next stint.
All right, thanks. I'll leave you to it.
Not having any fun right now. That's the understatement around here. That wall is so close.
Caution, got a car in the wall.
Oh, and this is Simona Di Silvestro.
Oh, dear.
You know, Lee, this is not the way she obviously wanted to end today. We talked earlier about her growing confidence with her race engineer, Gerald Tyler, and how they were trying to put one step in front of the other. Have to see what happened here.
It's not too much obvious damage. There's a flat spot on that front right.
It was rolling along, so it...
The flat spot would suggest she spun.
View from Graham Rahal's car.
Whoops.
Go low. Good.
She might have just backed into the wall, but boy, she only just got it. Didn't break the wing. Car's still rolling.
Yeah, and she's telling him, listen, I'm fine. Just get me restarted before I lose too many laps here.
Yeah.
Caution 1 at the end of lap 22 of this 250-lap event. Teams bank on these yellows happening here at the Milwaukee Mile. They go in with a 3-stop strategy, knowing that they can stretch a little bit because there is typically multiple yellows at the mile. Automatically pits are closed as soon as it goes yellow, and then once the field pack up, pits are open. And it is tight here with these short pit boxes compared to Texas a week ago.
It is, yeah. The lot can go wrong in these tight pit stops. You've got to minimize mistakes. But as much as these guys want to top up on fuel, they want those fresh tires.
So pits are open, but the front end, they stay out. Look who comes in. Joseph Newgarden is the first in behind Simona.
Rahal's in. Slightly slow on the front left on him. Really slow getaway. Yeah, dreadful start for Graham.
Whoa. Dario Franchitti, Joseph Newgarden, James Jakes. That was tight.
That was shades of Long Beach 2012, turn 1.
Back half of the field decide that they're going to pit early and take that strategy. Meanwhile, the front end, they just stay as is. Marco Andretti in the RC Cola machine is your race leader.
We know some people just can't leave things be. They wonder how much faster this thing could go. What if it weighed less or turned sharper? They know that things can always be better. We count ourselves among those people. Introducing the quicker, sleeker, smarter, best Civic Si yet, made possible by Honda.
Honda, proud partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Turtle Wax Ice does more than give your car a brilliance you'll be proud of. The advanced resins and protective polymers in ice create a barrier to repel dirt. It's the hard shell finish that keeps your car cleaner longer. Turtle Wax Ice, the smarter way to shine. And for a fast and easy way to get that brilliant shine, try new Turtle Wax Ice Spray Wax.
My name is Roosevelt. I always thought that cigarette smoking just messed up your lungs. I never thought that at only 45 would give me a heart attack. I never thought that it would stop me from playing basketball with my kids. Never thought that it would give me a scar like this. And I never thought that it would change my life forever. My tip is, do your heart a favor and quit now.
You can quit. For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
And that is where babies come from.
Dad, I have a question.
You do?
Does the asymmetrical tread pattern of a tire have any effect on stopping distance?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Firestone prepaid MasterCard and a Turbo Movie Pack when you buy a set of 4 select Firestone tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Pleased to say you rejoin us just in time to see the green flag fly, the restart, end of caution number 1. Let's go racing. Look at James.
Yellow.
Whoa! Tagliani in the wall.
I don't think he hit the wall, Lee. I think he just lost it on power. See if we can get a replay here.
This will tell us more.
So watch for Alex Tagliani. We don't have him on screen right now. He's in a blue and orange car. He's going to be a little bit further back right there. And just loses it on the power and does a great job to keep it off the fence. Locks up right there to keep it even on the track off the grass. So lucky to get away with that. Let's see it on board here, David.
Green.
Oh, teammate. Graham Rahal into the back of his teammate James Jakes. That's the voice of Graham Rahal.
And Graham needs a new nose, and I'm wondering if Jakes might have any issues on a left rear tire, perhaps.
Yeah, left rear tire, and that bodywork got a fairly good belt too. Now James Jakes worrying up there. As Tagliani spun right in front of him. I'm surprised that Graham Rahal didn't slow up a bit better.
As the bodywork looks okay. It looked like the round, sort of blunt edge of Graham's nose hit the tire, and that's probably the best way to take contact as opposed to a sharp end fence.
I think Graham Rahal's probably going to need a new nose.
At a minimum.
Now the Midas car dives for pit road. It's been a very, very tough weekend, as Robin highlighted earlier, for Graham Rahal. Well,
yeah, Graham pops down into the pits. Should be a simple front wing change from, but you've got to ask exactly what happened there with Jakesy, his teammate. It'd be dreadful if the two teammates taking each other out. Tagliani coming in. No real major flat spots on those tyres. They're changing them all up. Sensible thing to do fairly slow, just checking the car over. Actually, they're making a little bit of adjustments to the suspension. It looks like, no, they're jumping in deeper on the front. I think he wants a little bit of change. They've killed the engine. I think he might want some change, possibly on the throttle pedal, if they can move that around inside. It looked like he had some issues there. No, he's not. We're going on springs.
What? No, that's some sort of cover, I think, to access, as you had said earlier, the footwell.
I think it's the pedals. I think it's going on the footwell. Tag's been telling me all weekend they've had major problems with the mid-range coming out of that turn 4. Basically, what he said is it was really squashy on the throttle, and then it would suddenly just bite on him. It looked like that did it coming straight out of that. And I hear Kevin's got something for us down with Simona.
Well, Simona Di Silvestro is back on track. She took the first pit stop, and they just looked at the rear wing assembly, and you could tell it was flapping, but they sent her back out. 1 lap later came in, they changed it. It took them a while, so they're, I believe, 5 laps down at this point. They also gave her some more understeer and changed the air pressures just to try to make the car more stable so she won't spin again.
So Marco Andretti will get the 1 to go this time by and get back to racing. Let's hope we can get back clean.
Going great next time by.
I love these short yellows. That's great from the officials to get these guys right back on it.
Next time by, position 2 on your fuel. Daniel, call it.
We talk about the history and this famed Milwaukee Mile. We'll look at that as far as the longest running venues. Let's check in with James Jakes.
Yeah, here's James Jakes. They're going to take a look at the rear of that car. They assessed it's okay, so it was just a top off. Remember, his teammate Graham Rahal got into the back, but looks like no damage for the 16 car for James Jakes and Acorn Stairlifts.
And if you have the opportunity to do that and stay on the lead lap, why not? Coming back to green now, it's Andretti Autosport, 4 in the top 5. Let's go racing. Marco Andretti leads it to green one more time. Look further back in the field. Is it going to be clean this time? So far, so good.
You've got a slower Simona there, 5-6 laps down, right in the middle of the middle of the lead pack.
Ryan Hunter-Ray is going to take an opportunity to try and go for an early lead. Here's a go into turn 3. Couldn't quite pull it off.
Remember I told you earlier in the show, Simon Pagenaud said, look at Scott Dixon fighting here with Ed Carpenter and Sebastian Bourdais. Takuma Sato in behind. That red and white car diving to the inside is Dixon. He knows how to win on the Milwaukee Mile.
Clear.
On board with Briscoe. There's Vautier, the rookie, alongside.
You can see. Inside. Still there. You can see.
Remember, Tristan Vautier won the Indy Lights race last year, so he's no stranger to a short oval, doing a good job keeping it tidy side by side.
Ed Carpenter fighting with Sebastian Bourdais, and the Fuzzies machine has worked its way into the top 10. Practice and qualifying were not that complimentary. They weren't that satisfying for Ed, but racing's been good. Wow, look at Joseph Newgarden trying to go on the inside of Vautier. Here he comes, and he qualified well.
Joseph Newgarden won the Indy Lights race here 3 years ago.
Still there.
Wow, he's right there.
And Joseph said this morning he's getting, obviously, that communication from the spotter. Said, I love my race car, but I'm hesitant to say so because each race I've gone into this season, when it's felt so good, something has gone wrong. I just hope it's going to stay under me. I think we have a great race car, and he's showing that in the long run, Joseph Newgarden is going to be moving towards the front. He was very excited this morning.
Well, that's where Ed Carpenter's going, straight to the front, because he just cleared Sebastian Saavedra and is on fire. This is riding with Ed now. This is what he did a couple of laps ago. There's Bourdais, check.
Inside.
Here's Dixon. Whoop. Bourdais comes back, but he disposes of Scott Dixon.
That left rear wheel must have been awfully close. That car he just cleared.
This is the pole sitter from the Indianapolis 500 this year.
Now you can get away with that early on in the race. As long as they keep sweeping, it'll stay clean. But usually the sweepers can't get all of that clag, David. By the end, you really can't get away with those moves, or you're going to just wash straight into the fence.
Once you get wide when later on in the race, you're right, when all that stuff's lying on the outside.
20th to 8th.
Having a fantastic run at the moment.
Just keep hitting those marks.
The only other guy who's had a better run, really, is Pagenaud, who started off down in 20th spot, and he's up to 6th.
On board with Ryan Briscoe as he goes by Scott Dixon. Dixon tries to come back. The Honda boys feel that the Chevrolet power has a little bit of an upper hand here at this track.
Yeah, but you know, it's always the grass is always greener on the other side. Lee, I talked to the Chevy guys. They say, "Oh, the Honda's really torquey." Talk to the Honda guys. "Oh, Chevy's going to walk away with this," and we'll find out at the end who knows what's up.
Takuma Sato in the ABC machine getting by the lap. Simona Di Silvestro. This is going to work out well for Briscoe. It's almost 3 abreast. There's Bourdais. He doesn't want to relinquish that position.
Oh boy!
And Briscoe said he was going to be brave today. He's right down on the inside.
Now, Bourdais in that corner is forced to sit in the dirty air behind Simona's car. Now he's got a chance to slot in front of Briscoe and have a run on Simona proper coming down the front straight.
Briscoe started in 18th position today, and he's now knocking on the door of the top 10. He flies to Le Mans, France tonight, straight after this race, to compete in his very first 24 Hours of Le Mans next weekend for Scott Tucker's Level 5 Motorsports in the LMP2 class. He was at the pre-test last weekend. He is super excited about racing at Circuit de la Sarthe next weekend. What a race it's been. And if you're Marco Andretti, things are looking good at the Milwaukee IndyFest. Back in a moment. Some sights and sounds of the Milwaukee IndyFest 2013. It's been a great weekend so far, and so pleased that the weather has remained good and steady for us to get this race. The Firestone Indy Lights race was able to run in full, and now this is looking good for us as well. Quick reminder that you can be a part of Honda's fastest seat in sports sweepstakes simply by going to shophonda.com to sign up. You can enter now for your chance to lead the start of an IZOD IndyCar Series race in the IZOD 2-seater, as we saw earlier today, either driven by Indy 500 stars Arie Luyendyk and racing legend Mario Andretti. On board with Ryan Briscoe in the National Guard machine. He is the car in the middle, black and orange. Watch this. There's Elio Castro-Neves to his left, our right. And they're trying to get by Simona Di Silvestro. Whoa, that's his old teammate. And Elio wouldn't have enjoyed that too much.
No love lost between those two. That's a massive chop. And, Briscoe trying to get around Simona had a run. So did Elio. He had a run on Briscoe. There's just not enough room down there.
This is Dario Franchitti and Scott Dixon. So that's for 16th place.
Scott Dixon fading badly in this. Dario Franchitti actually picking up some spots, having started dead last after that engine change. Didn't qualify very well in the first place, but when you see them trying to get past Simona Di Silvestro there, you think, well, she's 6 laps down, she should make it easy for them. The problem is that the lap times are so close here. Where's she going to go?
They are, David, but it's a wide racetrack, and this was discussed in the drivers' meeting this morning, this exact issue. What if a car's 3-4 laps down, not really racing with anybody? I promise you, all those cars behind Simona are yelling on the radio, get her out of the way.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? It's bizarre to say the 3 Ganassi cars are 16th, 17th, and 18th at the moment. What's up with Sebastian? Very slow. After a really stellar start to this race, what's happened to the McAfee machine?
54 laps. There's no way he's out of fuel yet.
Bourdais in, fuel going into the side. He's absolutely fuming. Kicks his left hand up. I think you're right. I think it may have been fuel because the car seems good to go. Oh, he runs over his front left wheel gun as he runs out. So that's going to be a penalty for him for sure. Oh. He looks fuming. I reckon it was fuel, guys.
Wow. Just to add insult to injury.
Well, if that's the case, either he was running so rich the whole time or there's no way that tank was full to start the race.
No, that couldn't have been it.
Watch this as he runs over the hose on exit. The hose needs to be pulled out of the way, and he runs straight over it.
Not his fault at all. No. That hose is not supposed to be anywhere near the left front.
Up front, if you've just joined us, welcome to the Milwaukee Mile. This is Marco Andretti in the blue and red RC Kohler Chevrolet, leading his teammate and series defending champion Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Lee, he's leading his teammate, but he has just caught the back of the field, and it's going to get stacked up in a hurry.
This has been an incredible run in the fuzzy Chevrolet from Ed Carpenter, who started 20th position and is running 8th, challenging Tony Kanaan for 7th. And we just got confirmation from race control that car 7 as Carpenter gets by Kanaan, the Indy 500 winner. Here comes Sato as well, lining up for a shot.
Kanaan must have a problem of some sort. His tyres must be shot or something, because, he just got past there like he was sort of tied to the ground.
And Bourdais will have that drive-through penalty. That's just confirmed by race control. So for the front guys who did not pit, they are right in that first pit zone right now, in that pit window. So expect to see some action on pit lane when we come back from this brief break.
The Order of Gentlemen. What is the Order of Gentlemen? A secret society bound to honor the simple dignity of gentlemanhood? No. The Order of Gentlemen is this. Gentleman Jack, the twice mellow Tennessee whiskey men order when they want to feel like gentlemen. The society? I suppose we'd run around wearing rings, having secret meetings. Gentleman Jack Rare Tennessee Whiskey, the Order of Gentlemen.
Introducing a car company that's never made a single car. We took the power of a 9-year-old V8 and gave it the impressive handling of Firestone's Destination tire. Now, moms agree. Every milk run feels like a victory lap. So whatever you drive a Firestone. Get the tires and see turbo. Visit a participating Firestone retailer for details.
Monster waves. Too fast, too scary. Until an ingenious idea changed everything. Tow-in surfing. Courageous thinking. It's how we engineered the Mazda 3 with SkyActiv technology, giving it 40 highway MPG and named a top safety pick. This is the Mazda way, and this is the Mazda 3. What do you drive?
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, Iowa Speedway.
As you saw it on our non-stop coverage, we have a new race leader. It is Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Marco Andretti, who led all 61 laps up until that point, has been hustled back to third by another teammate, E.J. Viso, up ahead there in the Sitco entry.
This is what happens at Milwaukee. On a Viso's into the pits on a short oval. Now they're stacked up on the tail end of the lead lap with Graham Rahal.
Tell us more about Viso, Jan. Green flag stop. They've got to be good here.
Wide open. No panic. Right here.
And of course, they're talking him into the box. He has talked about that he does not like his car quite as stiff as some of his other teammates. We just see Marco Andretti dropping back on the course somewhat. He says that Marco likes it very stiff. Nice clean stop for Viso. But that's what happens on these long runs. If you have an aggressive, fast car with stiff springs, it may not be as good at the end of the run.
There is the race leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay, in the DHL entry, and here comes his teammate. Cycles out just ahead of him.
Well, Graham Rahal there in the Midas car. Going wide again as he comes out of turn 4. Just fancying the grip.
Well, look at Takuma Sato in the ABC supply car. He's got by Hinchcliffe while we were going non-stop. He got by Tony Kanaan as well. He is fourth in line. Here's Saavedra. All smooth for the other Dragon car, unlike it was for Sebastian Bourdais, who incidentally has served his penalty. Top 3 in here.
This is what it's all about here, Hunter-Reay and Andretti.
Try to get a turn front wing in, but I don't
want to wait. Everyone's together.
3, 2.
Marco Andretti has to slow a bit to go across the front of Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's angled out a little bit. They get the hose away. Ryan Hunter-Reay waiting for that last bit of fuel. He's done. That's 10 seconds. Marco Andretti still waiting for fuel. Wow, that took a long time. Marco Andretti, they can't get it out. They cannot get the fuel probe out. Oh, that is a killer for track position for Marco Andretti.
And not only track position, but he saw his teammate Hinchcliffe and Ed Carpenter go by as well. That hurt big time. Kevin.
Tony Kanaan is in. He's fallen back to 10th before people started cycling in. We were told he was going to take a half turn of front wing. He did not adjust the front wing. Kanaan is in and out. Also, we just saw James Hinchcliffe a moment ago. He took a full turn of front wing, even though he's been running in the top 5.
Will Power now has a nice clean shot because he has the great position here. Getting that coaching from Tim Cindric. Again, wow, that was fast. That's the way you want to do it. That's the way you get the fuel in quickly. Will Power with a smoking stop.
Simon Pagenaud worked his way up to 6th. He made a front wing adjustment. Also, Scott Dixon is in. I'm sure they made some changes on that car.
That's going to help Power, Will Power, that beautifully clean and fast stop from the Penske boys. Vautier is down and away. This has been a dynamic race so far, and Takuma Sato is enjoying time up front in the ABC supply car. Tell us more about Sato, Will.
On his first stop, they took 2 turns out of that front wing. That's why he's got so much pace right now. Taku's just got on the radio to say he is loving it in there.
Now remember, these cars all pitted early on lap 23. The guy who is flying right now and looking good is Vizo. He is carving through the field ahead of his teammate Hunter Ray. That last stop, the ability for him to come out in front of Graham is going to play in huge here later.
Briscoe fighting with Marco Andretti. Marco trying to make an inside move on Dario Franchitti, and does so. This is Briscoe.
Oh, big lift, out of room.
Sheepers, that was close.
That was close for the National Guard car.
The way that in-car camera panned when I saw the wall, I thought he was done. He was probably thinking that too for a while.
That's what I felt like yesterday when you were driving that Miller.
This is Scott Dixon in his draft, and gets the call that Dixon's trying to come inside. Boy, it's been a rough race for Scott Dixon.
Oh, dreadful.
Let's relive the pit stop of Marco Andretti. Watch the refueler.
Nothing more frustrating on a green flag stop to sit there and just know you're losing tons of spaces.
Boys, you know, a 10-second stop's half a lap.
But that's going to put a fire in Marco's belly. Not that he needs any more than he...
Not too much fire, we hope.
You know, it's going to be fun to watch him. We know he's got a great car. He's still got a long ways to go in this race. Lots to play up.
Let's not discount the progress from Helio Castroneves, the second Penske driver, the championship leader, who's fighting Marco Andretti for this championship at the moment. This is round 9 of 19. It is the Ganassi boys ganging up on Briscoe, who drove for Ganassi at the Indianapolis 500. Up front, Hinch in the green GoDaddy machine. Graham Rahal playing catch-up. Tough race. Collided with his teammate early after starting last. An engine change forced him back there, but he didn't qualify very well either. How high can he drag that Midas machine today?
Hinchcliffe going down the inside into turn 1. Can't pull it off. And Graham Rahal going wide there, though.
And here's Dario and Dixon and Briscoe, all three going at it. Oh, now Dario is so smart there. He knows that if he can just hold Briscoe down low, tight, it's going to make it very difficult for him to get by. It is a real game of chicken, though, when you do that, David, because one little bobble from the car on the inside, and he's going right into you.
Exactly. And here comes EJ getting on the inside.
Ed Carpenter has had a brilliant run today. Look at it. Look at Hinchcliffe around the outside.
Boy, that was a brave move.
He's got Graham Rahal ahead. Who's going to get boxed in here?
Well, Ed Carpenter's got the line, but...
These are the situations where you put tremendous faith in the spatial awareness of the guys that you're racing with. Ed Carpenter's been doing this a long time. He is a pro at maneuvering through the field like this. Hinchcliffe, still learning, but doing a great job.
Good driving there by Graham Rahal, making sure he knew he was doomed.
And that's the worst, David, because you know if you get too high, I'm into the marbles, my day's over. You're trying to be respectful. You're at the same time trying to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's a terrible conundrum to be in.
Race leader is Takuma Sato. Remember, he was one of the early ones to pit, though. He has a 1.2-second lead over Helio Castroneves, Justin Wilson, Joseph Newgarden, and Dario Franchitti in the top 5.
Good job, L9.
Due to the way things have gone on pit stop rotation, there are only 8 cars on the lead lap, and this man here, Charlie Kimball, is the 8th and final car on that lead lap. And coming up in just a moment, Charlie talks about pit box space here in Milwaukee with Avis. Own your own space.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kimball, driver of the number 83 Novolog FlexPen Honda. Here at the historic Milwaukee Mile, when traveling down the front stretch, we have plenty of room to pass and go 3 wide, battling for the lead. But when we hit pit lane, all that space disappears. With a total length of 960 feet, and with 24 entries, each car is allocated 37 feet for their pit box. And with our IndyCars measuring in at 16.5 feet, that doesn't leave us a lot of room to get in and out of our pit box, and more importantly, back on the racetrack. For us as drivers traveling down pit lane at 60 miles an hour, we only have a split second to pull into our pit box. Keeping in mind we don't want to overshoot or undershoot our marks, that timing is critical. Like an arrow hitting a bullseye, we pull in, hit our marks in the blink of an eye. Even though I own this space, and this is my pit crew's office, 23 other drivers in pit crews own their space too. So it's critical that I get in and out of this space cleanly and in under 8 seconds.
Good stuff from Charlie Kimball there, just highlighting how tight and tough it is in these 37-foot-long pit boxes at the Milwaukee Mile. Justin Wilson, after an early scare, is running well. He's running third. However, he is 12.5 seconds behind race leader Takuma Sato. A little further back, there's a good scrap going on for 5th place between EJ Vizo and Dario Franchitti. So on working lap 88 of 250, things are flowing by here with only 2 very brief caution periods.
It's been an awesome race. Now what's going on here is a lot of these cars are going to have to pit here. You've got Sato, Castroneves, Wilson, Newgarden, Franchitti all need to make a stop. Here is James Jakes.
Jake's coming in to make his stop. He's already come in a couple of times because he had that issue earlier, at least a feared issue. So this is going to be a routine stop, and Jake's is back out.
And there is that fight we were talking about, the Sitco machine of Andretti Autosport. It's EJ Vizo. He steals that spot away, that 5th spot from Dario Franchitti.
And if it stays green, Vizo will be your leader when the other guys have to pit. He's been working through traffic, but Hunter Ray has caught up. Remember, Hunter Ray was caught behind Graham Rahal earlier, but Hunter Ray's been working traffic hard. He's caught to close the gap.
Here's the first of those front-running guys, Jan Antonio Castroneves from 2nd.
Yes, and Castroneves slid a little bit past the stick clock. You'll hear Roger Penske on the radio. He talks all the way through. That was quick. Wow. So he now is stretching the field just like Castroneves did last year.
There goes race leader Takuma Sato. So Elio Castroneves, this is one of the places he has never won at.
He knows you're coming in, or knows you're coming in.
That's the call to Takuma Sato. You're coming in, and here is the ABC supply car. Hey, Will, what a dynamic run for Takuma Sato.
I tell you, mate, he's absolutely flying. Taku comes into his pit box, easy as you like, breaks down beautifully on his marks. Fronts are off, slight delay on the front left. Fuel's going in, it's looking good so far. Nice tidy stop from these guys. They've taken a turn out of the front wing as well.
And Dario Franchitti just left, and it was a very quick stop. It was sub 9 seconds. So the Ganassi team doing great work on pit road.
Joseph Newgarden in the direct supply, Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Honda. He's been racing this weekend as well. Qualified the highest Honda. Good stop there too, fairly clean, no errors, as he will cycle around. EJ Vizo is the race leader now. So that Sitco machine has cycled through on top as Townsend flagged a little earlier. He's being hunted down by Justin Wilson, who's due a stop soon too. Ryan Hunter-Ray will inherit that 2nd position.
Charlie Kimball also off sequence making his 2nd stop. He's going to make the change. Get 18.5 gallons of Sunoco fuel. That's up. Whoa, was going to be a good stop, but it's stalled now. And they have to get out the starter. This is going to cost them precious time on the racetrack. Will?
Justin Wilson's in, looking good so far. Wheel almost runs away. Guns out of the way. Oh, but it's slow. Slow. Fuel's up. Not bad in the end for Justin. He's still in the mix.
So now that things have cycled through for real, if you wish, EJ Vizo is the leader, Ryan Hunter-Ray is 2nd, and Power is 3rd, and in 4th place, Takuma Sato. This shows you what a great run it is. Sato is now 4th. Make that 3rd. He just gets by Will Power. Nice one.
Sato having a great run, coming up from 15th. Good stop there. He done those adjustments. He did the first adjustment, said the car was magic, but he came in and on the second stop, just had another little tiny wing change.
Will Power falling back a little bit here. Not just a great stop from Sato. In addition to that, great job on the out and in laps, which are so critical under green flag.
What is the story with Will Power? He has lost 2 positions very quickly on 1 lap. Let's keep watching the 12. We'll keep you up to date with that story. This is Justin Wilson, Ryan Briscoe. There is action all over this 1 mile Milwaukee Mile. Hearing reports of Andretti is slow. This is Marco. Wow.
If you can make it around, we need to pit on this lap.
It's the voice of Kyle Moyer. We saw problems with the refueling nozzle.
Yeah, but I just can't figure out what the issue could be here. He must have some sort of driveline issue or something. His last pit was on 67. He should be, more than fine on fuel, unless it didn't get in.
Unless it didn't get in at all.
Yeah.
Like we'll just put a small amount in.
Caution's out.
3rd caution of the day for our pole sitter and championship contender. This is going to hurt Marco Andretti big time in the standings.
Oh, boy, absolutely. He got behind after the race last week in Texas and was really looking forward to having a good run here. As you said earlier on, quickest in both practice sessions, quickest in qualifying, and was looking very, very, very strong in the race, but something's gone awry here.
He's dominated the weekend. This is agonizing for Marco Andretti.
Well, these short laps, of course, even when they're going slowly under caution, I mean, boy, oh boy, he can be 4 laps down in a heartbeat.
Rapidly approaching the halfway mark, and it's even more agonizing for him because he sees guys like this, EJ Vizo and his other teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay doing so well, running 1st and 2nd.
I see Will Power's guys laying out here too, so clearly, Lee, you commented about Power struggling. He's only done 30 laps on this set of tires, and they're going to try to make some changes.
Yep. Pits are open. Let's take advantage. Let's make the most of it. Watch the intra-team battle here between Vizo's boys and Hunter-Reay's guys. Watch the yellow car at the front and the orange, white machine, the Sitco color. Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay's guys got in service faster.
Great stop by the DHL crew. Watch Power. He comes out. Looks like he's going to be 3rd in line.
So Briscoe, Tagliani, then Hinchcliffe, Kanaan. The whole Matro team trying to rescue Marco Andretti. There with him. Marco's looking frustrated. He's saying,
boy, what is he saying?
He's saying, quit wasting time and tow me to pit lane so they can fix this thing.
I think that
There's
is...
no way we can get it out of gear without any
he's saying I got it in
battery
first
voltage or
gear.
anything like that. We're dead in the water.
Neutral. You can't get to neutral.
true car entry for Dragon Racing of Sebastian Saavedra. Qualifying in the top 6. He's been running in the top 10. Really encouraging day for the 23-year-old Colombian. So as he cycles through, and everybody draws breath on what has been a frantic opening 100 laps of this race.
It's always like that here. You'd never have a break, and it's going to be a great finish.
Really nice crowd here too. They've been enjoying the weekend despite the weather. How about this man? It was a crowd favourite win in Long Beach. Can he get another one? Takuma Sato.
Inside yours. Keep pushing here, bud. That's turn 4, spotter. Turn 4's clear.
Streaming 4-in-1 Mosaic.
Inside. We'll push the back left. Be smart here.
Live pit crew chatter. Riding shotgun from green flag to checkered. That's powerful. Download IndyCar 13 now, only from Verizon.
Turtle Wax Ice does more than give your car a brilliance you'll be proud of. The advanced resins and protective polymers in ice create a barrier to repel dirt. It's the hard shell finish that keeps your car cleaner longer. Turtle Wax Ice, the smarter way to shine. And for a fast and easy way to get that brilliant shine, try new Turtle Wax Ice Spray Wax.
Jessica, there's something I want to ask you.
Yes?
When I'm switching to winter tires, do I have to change all 4, or can I just put 2 on the front axle? I don't know.
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Firestone prepaid MasterCard and a Turbo Movie Pack when you buy a set of 4 select Firestone tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Everyone has the ability to do something amazing. Some just do it on a more regular basis. In dealerships everywhere, in theaters, June 14th.
117 shots on goal, 3 grueling overtimes, 1 epic finish. And it's only the beginning. Tonight, will the Bruins fight back and even up the series? Or can the Blackhawks take a commanding 2-game lead? Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Live tonight, 8 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. Because it's the Cup.
Back in Milwaukee, and we are under our 3rd full course caution with a terrific crowd here in Wisconsin, enjoying round 9 of the IZOD IndyCar Series. Great to have you with us on our live coverage. There is the man who has dominated this weekend, 26-year-old American Marco Andretti, and it is over.
Boy, that is a shame.
Jan, you're there.
He just comes in to get the update from Kyle Moyer. Kyle, or maybe it's ask you, Marco. Marco, what did he just tell you was the issue?
Well, either the alternator or, I don't know, another part. But I don't know, I guess we're going to try to get it fixed.
Obviously, your car was on rails at the beginning, but then you started to drop back. Was that related to the electrical issue?
No, we didn't have a great stop.
Obviously, with that fuel, and that, again, was not related? You didn't start to run low on fuel, just stopped charging?
No, it wasn't fuel, yeah, because nothing worked in the car. The clutch didn't work, the gears didn't work, the dash went off, so it's obviously electronic.
Thank you, Marco.
You can sense his frustration, can't you? The weekend looks so promising, David.
The one thing that you just can't bear as a driver is somebody asking you questions when the things you want to grip him by the throat and throw him out the pits.
Yeah. No, it's tough. I mean, he had such a dominant weekend going. Every session, super good.
It'll be 1 to go. 1 to go at the line.
All right, before we run out of time, Will update us on Takuma Sato, race leader.
Yeah, amazing race for TAC. Diane Hendricks, chairman of the board of ABC's here this weekend. 950 guests for them. What an amazing race for him to be leading. But I tell you what, he's going to have to make 2 more stops. They've had to flip him onto a 4-stop strategy, having stopped so early. They were hoping for 3 because he's been so good on his tires today. It's 4 though right now.
Larry Foyt, he was looking at the humorous side of things earlier in the weekend. He said, I asked our chief engineer Don Halliday, really there's only 2 corners at this place, how come we can't get the car working better? That was after the first practice session. They've got this ABC supply car dialed in right now. And this is what Milwaukee IndyFest is all about, bringing the family on Father's Day weekend to enjoy this festive atmosphere and see some outstanding racing. The IZOD IndyCar Series Milwaukee IndyFest roars back into life at the end of the 3rd full course caution. Sato the leader. Look for Castro Neves on the inside there in the blue, white and black machine. The PPG, Penske, Chevy.
Going to be interesting here. You've got Anna Beatrice 1 lap down, running 3rd in our shot there right now with a whole bunch of cars right behind her.
While we talk about the frustration as Vizo dives on the inside of Briscoe, we talk about the frustration of Marco Andretti. Think about the joy of Elio Castro Neves championship-wise, because Andretti was the closest to him in the championship coming into this race.
Boy, if Helio Castro Neves gets a good result here, that's going to make catching him very difficult as the season unwinds now, nearly halfway through.
Look at Vizo here on the inside of Anna Beatrice. Job done.
Job done. Vizo, to me, has an exceptionally strong car. He looks great in traffic. Could be another first-time winner today. Look at this gang right here. You've got Hinchcliffe, Power, Kanaan, Dixon.
Simon Pagenaud tucked in behind as well.
Wow, look at that Hinchcliffe getting forced up to the wall there. James Jakes in the wall there.
Will Power in the 12 on the inside of the green machine, the GoDaddy car of James Hinchcliffe. 14 cars on the lead lap, only 7 seconds blanketing the top 4. 14. It is tight, it is fast. And EJ Viso and Sebastian Saavedra have been racing laps at in excess of 160 miles an hour.
And that's flying, but it doesn't get any closer than Hinch and Will Power right now. They're leaving each other no room. And Briscoe again coming across the nose of Kanaan. And look at Power all the way down on the yellow curb.
It's the beautiful thing about the Milwaukee Mile, David. Things change so rapidly, you've always got a chance.
Absolutely, they do change so rapidly. Of course, you'd be a lap down, but of course, it's not very far behind in reality, but still in all, it's hard to get it back when they're fighting this close and they're so evenly matched. Very difficult to make up any serious ground.
On board with Simon Pagenaud.
And a perfect example there. 3 cars in line. Newgarden a little bit low to the car in front of him. Pagenaud's got to go all the way to the inside to keep air on the front wing and get the front end to work. Got a little run there coming off the corner, but he had to get out of it.
Making a good run. Now he's getting a bit of draft. A bit of a lift. Of course, in qualifying, these guys hardly lift going through these turns at all. But once you start racing, you get amongst the crowd, you have to lift.
Now he's saving fuel big time right there. You can see him half throttle down the front straightaway. He doesn't feel like he's got enough to get Newgarden here, so he's thinking, let me just keep saving fuel, stretch my stint as far as I can.
Keep your eye on the black asphalt patches on the inside of turn 3 and 4, where we are now in 1 and 2. Tony Kanaan told Townsend and I earlier today, what you want to do is you don't want to be all the way on that black patch because it's in too tight. You get cramped. You want to be just outside it, and you can't hedge your bets either because it upsets the car.
That assumes nobody's in front of you, though.
Yeah.
You got a car in front of you, you need to use all of that black spot.
What a run it's been from the Fuzzies Vodka Chevrolet of Ed Carpenter today.
Fascinating to see the contrast between a Honda and a Chevy. The Chevy, Ed Carpenter's in a Chevy here, shifting twice per lap, 4th, 5th, 6th. The Honda with Pagenaud only 1 shift per straightaway. Suggests the Honda's maybe a little torquey, can run a little wider range.
Yeah.
Tell us more, Kev.
Well, Ed's been running up near the front, a great charge from the back, but he lost a couple of spots on the last pit stop. They took 2 turns of wing, and he also got pushed out a little bit wide in the restart. But right now, the car is doing okay, so he still has an opportunity to make his way back forward.
Exit of 4, you'll get them better that way.
That's his spotter. That's Ed Spotter, who under yellow said, we think you're stronger coming off of 4 than 2, so make your effort there.
Sato, Castro Neves, Hunter Ray, Viso and Hinchcliffe, your top 5, but it's Taku who is dominating. He has come into his own at the Milwaukee Mile. Could it be win number 2 this year? We're not quite halfway. Thanks for watching live coverage of the Eyes on IndyCar series on the NBC Sports Network. This is Simon Pagenaud, one of the many first-time IndyCar winners this year when he won race 2 on the streets of Belle Isle in Detroit. He had an anxious moment just a little while ago.
Gets down on that patch. Thinks he's going to run up off the corner behind Kanaan, but a massive wash at the front end as he comes up right off of Kanaan's gearbox.
Right there's a big vacuum right behind that car.
Tony Kanaan was up to 5th not that long ago, about 15 laps ago. He slipped back to 9th now. The issue he's dealing with is when he's in traffic right behind someone, he's not doing very well. He's losing spots. But when he gets in clean air, he's good. So he's struggling with dirty air right now, Will.
Down here with Larry Foyt. Larry, your boy's getting the job done today, isn't he?
I couldn't really hear you there, but it's a good day so far. Love seeing the ABC car up front here in Milwaukee. I mean, we got so many ABC people here. It's great. Takuma's doing a great job. Car seems fast. Now we just got to try to keep it up there.
He took 2 turns out at the first stop, half a turn out at the second stop. His confidence just seems to be increasing with every run.
Yeah, we just started a little bit free, but now I think we've got it where he really likes the car. He's able to use his tools and dial them in. So far, so good. We got a long way to go yet.
Indeed, we do. What do you reckon? Can you do it on 1 more stop, or is 2 the way you've got to go now?
No, it'll probably be 2.
All right, best of luck. I'll let you get on. Thank you.
Larry Foyt. AJ Foyt racing, and there's his man going by the Midas machine, Graham Rahal. Sato has 3.8 seconds lead, and here is Marco Andretti climbing aboard the RC Cola machine. It's all about salvaging whatever points you can.
You got it. Those points are precious, especially at the end of the season. They'll be buckling him in as fast as they can, knowing that everything's going to count.
Firestone biggest movers in the race. Pretty simple, isn't it? Elio Castroneves, 17th per second. Our top two have done an outstanding job because Takuma has done well also.
And we know that Castroneves can do a lot further on fuel than Sato, so Sato could have a great big black spot over his head. With Castroneves there, we're pretty sure he can go a lot further. 2 stops for Sato, maybe only 1 more for
David, I can tell you it is true that he can go farther, but everyone in that top group all have 2 stops in their future. So he's not out of sequence. Just when he would stop would be different, but they both have to stop twice.
14 cars on the lead lap. Justin Wilson is the 14th and final one. Just over 20 seconds in arrears of this man here, Takuma Sato.
Are you happy with the balance? Okay.
Happy with the balance?
Yeah, I'm fine. We're going good. Don't talk to me right now.
Because Takuma Sato, very experienced, did a lot of Formula 1 for Eddie Jordan with a Honda engine, and also, of course, won the British Formula 3 Championship going away, driving for Carlin. Just had a massive year when he won the Formula 3 Championship, which was a difficult championship back then.
Robin?
Hey, Lee, the things that you don't see A.J. Foyt on the stand this weekend because he's back home in Houston. He's probably going to miss 3 or 4 races. I think we talked the old man into finally getting a hip surgery. He's going to get hip surgery because he's having so much trouble walking. But this is going to at least lift his spirits up watching Sato win here at ABC's hometown. And I tell you one thing, if we could get Foyt off that Bluebell ice cream diet, we could get him to lose about 80 pounds.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
Well, Sato's flying here, but what he's doing really well is working this lap traffic. I'm watching him relative to Castroneves, and it seems like Sato is just so precise at picking off guys like he is right there with Justin Wilson.
He puts Justin Wilson a lap down. And look how effectively he does it. He is cruising through this field.
Well, of course, that's what happens when you get your car balanced right. Nobody knows that better than Townsend. Once you get the balance right, especially on a short, high-speed track like this, it just makes life a joy.
There they are, rolling Marco back out. They're going to have to push him into his stall, get the starter in there. He's just going to go around. He's going to have a similar issue to some of the other drivers like Tagliani and Graham, just trying to stay out of the way, being several laps down, but he's got a good car. He should be quick.
It is not the way the day panned out that he had planned. Frustrating for the man who's second in the championship. We're into the second half of the Milwaukee IndyFest.
Everyone has the ability to do something amazing. Some just do it on a more regular basis. In dealerships everywhere, in theaters, June 14th.
Turtle Wax Ice does more than give your car a brilliance you'll be proud of. The advanced resins and protective polymers in ice create a barrier to repel dirt. It's the hard shell finish that keeps your car cleaner longer. Turtle Wax Ice, the smarter way to shine. And for a fast and easy way to get that brilliant shine, try new Turtle Wax Ice Spray Wax.
It's not about how you look. With a new set of Firestones, it's about how you feel. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
The Order of Gentlemen. What is the Order of Gentlemen? A secret society bound to honor the simple dignity of gentlemanhood? No. The Order of Gentlemen is this. Gentleman Jack, the twice mellowed Tennessee whiskey men order when they want to feel like gentlemen. The society? I suppose we'd run around wearing rings, having secret meetings. Gentleman Jack Rare Tennessee Whiskey, the Order of Gentlemen.
That's what busy looks like at the Milwaukee Mile as we welcome you back, and as the owners look on. Jimmy Vasser, who celebrated so big at the Indy 500 when his man Tony Kanaan won. There's the captain, Roger Penske, watching on. His lead driver, Elio Castroneves, runs second. When we went to that last commercial break, we saw Marco Andretti being rolled back out onto pit lane. Jan Beekes, what happened? What did they do?
I checked with the Chevrolet engineers, and they changed all of the electronic boxes, not the alternator, so they didn't feel it was a charging issue. Something electrical. They changed, I should say, all the boxes, and now it seems to be A-OK for Marco.
And again, we underscore that. It is so important just to get back out there and get points. And speaking about getting out there, Takuma Sato is just slicing his way through this field. We saw him get by Justin Wilson. Now he starts to work on Ed Carpenter, who is the last car on the lead lap in 13th place.
Well, I tell you what, he's not having any luck with Carpenter at all. As he goes into the corner, he's quicker than halfway through the corner. Carpenter picks up speed. He must have been following now for nearly 8 laps, and he just cannot get around him.
Ed is going to fight this as hard as he can. He is the last car on the lead lap.
Time to run through the field. Will Buxton kick us off.
Takuma Sato with an unbelievable run from 15th spot into the lead. He's struggling right now, though. He needs to get past Ed Carpenter. He's gone from a 6-second gap at the front to 4.8. He's losing right now 8 miles an hour a lap behind Carpenter. Needs to get through to him to make his race work for him. Jan.
And of course, that's what Elio Castroneves wants. He wants to try and close that gap. Castroneves so much happier with this car than what he was in qualifying. He had a vibration after one of his stops, but that has gone away. A-OK for Castroneves. Now, of course, behind him, Ryan Hunter-Reay, who had asked for a wing change. He wanted 1.5 turns of front wing at his first pit stop. And wow, look behind at what's happening with his 2 teammates, Hinchcliffe and Viso, fighting right behind. Now the case for Viso, he likes the car, I think I mentioned that earlier, a little bit softer than his teammates. So he may not be quite as quick as the others in the beginning of the stint, but wow, look how racy he is now, Kevin.
And look how much ground you lose when you try to make a move and don't get it completed. He was about to go around E.J. Viso, but now James Hinchcliffe is about 10 car lengths back. George Close, though, just told me the car is good. They feel good about their situation today, Jan.
For Will Power, who rides behind, you see that gap. That's a 7-second gap back to Will Power. His car doesn't work as well in dirty air. Well, he should like that 7-second gap then, because he gets some air over the wings and he's more happy. But right now, doesn't have that kind of speed to close that gap.
Way back, we're going to find Scott Dixon, but this is good considering where it was. He's up to 7th. It's only 4 spots better than where he started. But remember, he slid all the way back to 16th or 17th, but they didn't make big changes. They just thought the car was a little bit slow, lost some spots early on restarts, but in good shape right now, Jan.
And Joseph Newgarden, you caught just the end of that. He's in a big battle there with Sebastian Saavedra. They've been duking it out. He had an issue, that is, Joseph Newgarden, he felt like the shifting was not as clean as it needs to be early on, but he hasn't reported anything on that recently. Well,
Saavedra's been struggling with understeer all the way through this weekend. He was hoping for a couple of yellows to come during this race to try and clean up that track. He knows there's only one around here, and he's trying to get in that right now. Kevin.
We're about 18 laps or so away from we'll see Tony Kanaan in for what should be his next to last pit stop. They've been having some radio issues. They've been hearing beeps on the radio, and they're concerned that maybe the battery is going down or something else. They're not hearing Kanaan very well. Sometimes he's not hearing them, so they do have a signboard prepared. Behind him is Simon Pagenaud there in the 77 HP car running in the 11th position. Before the race, Rob Edwards told me that they were very confident. It's a balance here. You want to be assertive but not overly aggressive. They're not great today, but they're still staying on the lead lap, Jan.
Dario Franchitti back in 12th place. You can see that Anna Beatrice putting heat on him from behind. He just has not had a good weekend. They were very encouraged overnight. They thought they found something, and Carpenter slowing.
Carpenter almost went into the wall, Jan, exiting turn 4. Elio Castroneves whipped by. This is what it looked like. He is in trouble.
He got way up into the gray, into the marbles, and he is just hanging on now, praying the thing completes the corner. Meantime, Elio Castroneves is closing quickly on Sato as he was struggling to get through traffic.
1.8 seconds, 1.6 now. It's as close as it's ever been. Reliving those scary moments for Ed Carpenter as he did a very good job, by the way, to keep it off the wall. The fuzzy Chevrolet's in one piece, but he is on pit road after being the final car on the lead lap.
And he's saying, get those dirty tires off.
And I know Ed was wanting to come in as soon as possible. He was asking, let's make this stop as soon as we can. They were trying to hang on. I think, from what I understand, he just got up in the marbles, although we can see there an adjustment to the front wing. So they're trying to hang on, but no specific mechanical issue there on that issue where he just slowed down.
The championship leader has closed in on Takuma Sato. Elio Castroneves, right of screen in that blue, black, and white car, is right there with Takuma Sato. They're coming up on the Indy 500 champion, Tony Kanaan. They blow by him. Now the fight is on at the front. Sato versus championship leader Castroneves.
This is great stuff. Now those slower cars are going to be paranoid, knowing with like what happened to Ed, if I get too high, we can even see the marbles building there. This is going to force the slower cars to stay tight in the corner. It's going to help Elio get right all over Sato.
Well, of course, he got held up there by Ed Carpenter, Sato that is, for a long time there, and that allowed Elio Castroneves to catch him up.
Castroneves is in.
He's pitting on lap 155. Watch how well the Penske boys operating. It was slick and fast before. They need to do it again.
He stops this time right on his marks. Again, you'll hear Roger Penske. He talks him completely all the way through the pit stop. No miscues whatsoever. And we keep an eye on Takuma Sato. Remember, you're going to use a lap. You will lose one lap if you pit under green, but so will Sato later on.
You're right, Jan. Now, Sato's been trapped behind Bia here for several laps. When Sato's got a pit, that's going to really help Castroneves if he's got some clean track to work with.
Because you just said a moment ago that those out-in laps that Sato did earlier, the in and the out lap were just terrific.
And he's in. Sato's in.
Watch this lap. Watch where Elio Castroneves comes out. Will, you handle the stop. We'll keep an eye on Castroneves.
Taku's front tyres absolutely done in. So much graining on them after being in that understeer in the dirty air of the guys in front of him. Carpenter for such a long time. But it's a good clean stop for him, and away he goes. That could be a deciding pit stop.
Now Castroneves has had clean air for most of this last lap. Sato's going to hit this line here. It's critical on the bumpy apron to see what he can do to get up to speed. It looks like Castroneves is going to blow right by.
Castroneves is behind Ana Beatriz. Now he exits, gets through on the inside of Ana Beatriz. And there is Sato as he gets right alongside. Sato maintains his position ahead of Elio Castroneves. Great work from the AJ Foyt team.
Castroneves had it going, but Beatriz got in the way. There was nothing he could do. He was trapped with Sato coming out of pit lane. Great stuff.
Oh, boy, and then Sato's got, he's got a bit of traffic going through turn 2. That's Dario Franchitti.
How about that?
Going a lap down.
Under the biggest pressure situation. Ooh. AJ Foyt's boys deliver. Sato stays ahead of Elio.
At Honda, we know you. We know you have to rise early and work late, with not enough sleep in between, and how things aren't just about you anymore. Introducing a car that starts with you. The all-new Accord from Honda.
Honda, proud partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
This is the Quicken Loans team. A team dedicated to providing clients with an amazing home loan experience. For 3 years in a row, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. Because at Quicken Loans, client service isn't everything. It's the only thing. Quicken Loans, engineered to amaze.
Hey, Joe, when are you ever going to put your idea online?
Relax, Cal. It's not like anyone else is going to have the exact same idea that popped into my head.
How do you know no one else has thought of it, Harry?
Because they haven't, Kelly. It's totally original.
It's one in a gazillion.
Oh, really? Really?
It's idiot-proof. It's a real moneymaker.
And thank goodness I put it online first.
More champagne, sir?
More everything, Sky Waitress.
Don't wait. Register your big idea as a .co domain at GoDaddy.
Give me your street circuits, your ovals. Give me your road courses and your cathedrals of speed. Give me drivers who live to put it all on the line and cars unlike any other. Because this is America, and here we race IndyCar.
Next stop, Iowa Speedway.
Two-time race winner here at the Milwaukee Mile. In the DHL Andretti Autosport Chevrolet, Ryan Hunter-Ray pits and he is gone. Hinchcliffe in the GoDaddy machine, he pitted, he's gone, he's out and back up to speed. EJ Viso there in the Sitco entry, he leads the way on pit stop rotation. That fight still goes on between Sato and Castro Neves a little further back, but Sato has pulled about 3 seconds on him.
He's flying now. Viso's our leader, but he is hanging on, and he is done hanging on. Get me some fresh rubber.
David, how about the pace of things today?
Well, it's electrifying, and that's what I've always loved about this racetrack. They just weave their way through the traffic, and the pace is enormous. Of course, after that rain last night, the track will be picking up rubber now, so it will be getting more grip. But as Townsend also said earlier on, once the race really gets going, offline is going to be difficult.
And David, EJ Viso there finishes almost an identical time to Ryan Hunter-Ray. Ryan Hunter-Ray about a half a second faster on pit road. We'll see how that translates to the track.
On rotation, Will Power assumes the lead of this race, but this is the man to watch. Power, he's on pit road.
So Will Power now has 8.2 seconds that he needs to beat. That's the mark that was set by Ryan Hunter-Ray right behind him. The tires are done, and he does beat it. Looks to me like he rolled before and beat him with an 8.1. Nice job for Penske.
Where is Castro Neves on track, or rather Takuma Sato on track? He's just coming into turn one. Will Power should keep the lead of this race. Exiting turn two is Takuma Sato. So, this has been frantic. It has been absolutely frantic. And I take that back, my apologies. On rotation there, Sato still leads the race. Great stop, though, from the boys at Penske Racing. Here's Dario. Boy, he has been gritty today. He has fought hard, considering he started right down the end of the field.
He has now 81 laps to go. With some yellows, you never know. He could get really lucky. Take a lot of yellow, but they might be thinking that.
What we've seen today is that it's gone very, very quickly. The yellows that we have had. 3 for a total of 20 laps. Frustrating day that started so promising for Sébastien Bourdais. Let's hear from the Frenchman.
Yeah, it really was, Lee. Sebastian, talk us through that for you. First the fuel issue, then running over that tyre gun. Just such a disappointing day for you.
Yeah, especially because we had such a good start, you know, just followed Tony's usual outside, you know, around the start for the first 2 corners, and it worked out, made it to P9, and you know, the McAfee true car effort was looking really good until, yeah, something happened with the fuel pump. We started losing pressure where before we should have, and then at that pit stop, the gun was not retrieved properly, and I just clipped it with the left front, and I think it busted the steering, because after that the car was just never the same, and it just kept going worse and worse, so we just parked it.
Unlucky, my man. Thank you.
Here's how it rides at the moment. 5 seconds the lead margin. Takuma Sato over Elio Castro Neves. Then the first Andretti Autosport machine of Ryan Hunter-Ray some 11 seconds back. Viso, Hinchcliffe and Power. Those are the cars on the lead lap as we stand now. This man here is in the groove.
Boy, isn't he ever in the groove? I mean, he had a 3-second lead only just a couple of laps ago. Now it's up to 5.1.
Best oval finish for Takuma Sato's IZOD IndyCar Series career. 5th in Texas in 2011.
You know, when I watch Takuma run ovals now, he just has a confidence about him and the experience of several years under his belt. He is just so good now at making smart decisions on when and where to make these passes. He's carving up this field like a sushi chef.
Isn't that appropriate that his best oval finish is in Texas, where his team owner is watching from? But I don't think AJ Foyt would mind him eclipsing that record by winning here. Could he be our second multi-time winner this year? Joining James Hinchcliffe, the man who passed him in Brazil on the last lap at the last corner to get his second win of the year. It's been a tough day for Alex Tagliani as well.
Tag, a tough race for you, man. First of all, tell us what happened in the on the restart there with the spin. It sounded like you had something in the pedal box.
Yeah, exactly. We have something with the front throttle pedal, and my foot was 6 inches off the pedal that I'm using normally, so I don't know what happened. I was bending back, you know, the ears that are supporting the foot side to side. So it's unfortunate for the Barracuda racing team. The Bowers and Workings boys, you know, did a fantastic job all weekend long. But I think we missed the setup. It's been 2 weekends on the oval where we struggle with a very, very loose car. So I guess we need to regroup and find some speed.
And ultimately, a gearbox issues curtailed your race today.
Well, at the end, the gearbox was overheating, and we were losing pace and speed, and it was a risk to stay out there and have a gearbox blow up and crash. So it was better to come in and stop it.
Better luck next time. Thanks, Ryan.
Charlie Kimball in the raceforinsulin.com machine in the orange and blue car there is being mindful that Takuma Sato is behind. Sato is losing that healthy lead that he once had. Traffic is proving costly because the captain's man, Elio, is coming.
Everyone has the ability to do something amazing. Some just do it on a more regular basis. In dealerships everywhere, in theaters, June 14th.
You may ask one question. Which tire category should I choose to get the most comfortable ride?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Firestone prepaid MasterCard and a Turbo Movie Pack when you buy a set of 4 select Firestone tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
It began with my big toe. That was my first amputation that I had.
Berger's disease, it's a vascular disease brought on by smoking.
My fingers started to go piece by piece.
First it was my left leg. After my left leg, it was my right leg. And so now I'm a double amputee, all from smoking.
My tip to everyone is, don't believe that this can't happen to you, because it can.
You can quit. For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Why is Avis right for me? They understand what I need to get pumped for victory. Like a Sirius stereo to blast pulse-pounding music that turns me from a man into a beast. I get so pumped that nothing slows me down. But they make sure I have the kind of mean machine that can handle it. By the time I arrive, I'm more than in the zone. I'm a savage. I got this. Oh, I got it, Mr. Stricker. Oh, really? I insist. No, I insist.
Avis, it's Steve Stricker's space, and it's your space.
Did we say a little earlier that Takuma Sato was in the groove? Well, guess what? He just got out of it and had a very hairy moment right here, as he did in qualifying yesterday, and was able to gather things up. Let's show you what happened to the AJ Foyt driver.
Just like what happened to Ed Carpenter earlier. He's behind Kimball. He knows he's losing the gap. He just got loose there in the middle. Big wiggle. Saved it once, saved it twice. Now he's up in the gray, and he's just got stuff all over his tires at this point.
Oh, boy.
Watching on board with Marco. You see Sato up ahead, saving it. Now he's up in that light gray area. There's no grip out there.
Oh, boy, no grip. And, of course, as you say, all that dust and clag sticks to the tire for the next couple of corners is pretty bad, too.
Did a brilliant job to just stay with it, clean it off in 1 and 2, and hold on to the lead.
And Larry Foyt said to him on the radio straight after that, way to gather it up, way to hang on, and you're still in the lead, keeping those positive vibes going. David, you mentioned this earlier, when you lose the momentum, it's massive here at the Milwaukee Mile. His lap after that was 134 miles an hour. Elio Castro-Neves, 151 miles an hour.
Exactly, and Castro-Neves nearly slipped by him, but he's managed to pull himself together again now, and he's 0.8 of a second.
Not going to get any easier for Sato here as he comes back up on the rear of James Chakes and Ed Carpenter.
Will?
Taku still on for a pit stop on lap 2:07. They're just calming their man down, making sure he keeps it on that one line around here. As soon as you go off that line, you get in all squirrely. The car is way too loose for him right now. They're going to take out a turn of front wing when he pits on lap 2:07.
With 62 to go, you could stop now and get to the end. But how about the tires? They're getting tortured around here.
You could stop now, but if a yellow comes out, that could be, put you in a difficult situation. I promise you, most of these drivers are saying, hey, pit me now. Anytime's good. I'll take new tires.
And there is Larry Foyt. You hear his voice on the radio, coaching Takuma Sato. Things have just gone so well for this team in 2013. The race victory. And now look at how close Castro Neves is. Traffic being costly again to Sato in the ABC machine.
30 laps on Sato's tires, but he's stuck at this point, David. He's in dirty air. He really has just learned a tough lesson. Hey, if I push too hard, I can put the thing in a fence. Meanwhile, Castro Neves is coming.
He's coming up behind James Jakes and some other pretty quick guys in front of him. They're a long way down, but nevertheless, they're spoiling the air. As you can see, the front end twitch there slightly on Sato's car. Tires are probably pretty run down now.
If I'm Sato, what I'm doing here is just don't make a mistake, because I've got a car that's probably better. Look at Hunter Ray, hand up. That was 5 fingers.
And that's on Joseph Newgarden. Now, Newgarden runs in 8th. Ryan Hunter-Reay is running 3rd at the moment. Joseph Newgarden is a lap down. There are 7 cars on the lead lap.
Apparently, race control is radioing that there's something coming loose. The safety guy is saying something coming loose on the back of the 3. Looking closely there, I don't see anything. It's a piece of tape or something.
It's a bit of tape on the wing, isn't it? I don't think it's...
I wonder if that's Ryan Hunter-Reay behind saying, oh, Castro Neves got something coming loose. Pit now, pit. Flag him.
Pull him in.
Safety.
Sato, Castro Neves, Hunter-Reay, 1, 2, 3. Viso, Power, Hinchcliffe and Dixon are the cars on the lead lap. Then Joseph Newgarden, Sebastian Saavedra, who's run in the top 10 all day. It's been an outstanding run from the Dragon Racing driver. And then Simon Pagenaud is in the top 10. Those last 3 guys are a lap down. 57 to go. This thing has flown by. And we're going to see one more stop for every car and then a final scramble to the end.
Just thinking to myself, is it worth it here for somebody in the top 5 or 6 to pit now on the gamble that it stays green the whole time and that they can get out and get some clear running?
That's the thing. I mean, it is just a gamble because obviously the last guy to stop, they don't have to put quite so much fuel in, so it's a quicker stop, less weight in the car when he restarts it. So the last guy to stop, if for instance Castro Neves can wait out another 5 or 6 laps, that'll help him a lot.
But running 24 is stuck where he is.
And getting a yellow are very good.
Yeah. Look at Ryan Hunter-Reay in the yellow DHL machine for Andretti Autosport. Here comes the defending series champion, trying to make a move on Helio Castro Neves for 2nd. Hunter-Reay is the defending race winner as well.
Goes to the inside, went to the outside up in the turn.
Whoa, and he gets it right up the inside of Helio Castro Neves for 2nd.
The slide job, you see him dive in.
Boy,
he's got to carry the thing up mid-track.
Yeah.
Now he's going to start to work on Sato.
Sato has rear view mirrors full of that DHL Chevy. And Ryan Hunter-Reay is on a mission. He's 3rd in the championship points. He wants to defend that title.
Sato approaching 40 laps on the tires. Hunter-Reay, a little bit fresher rubbers, got about 7 laps fresher tires, but I promise you Hunter-Reay is working full time to just keep that thing close.
I would have thought 7 laps probably not enough to make that much difference, but maybe...
Inside, look at this, the runoff 4. This is exactly what he did to Helio the lap before. Have we got a new race leader? Yes, we have.
And Sato seems to be in a little trouble here. We'll see if Helio can get him on the back straight.
I think that wing adjustment that Sato did on that last stop, he did 2 wing adjustments on 2 stops. I think he overdid it on the front end. Now that's made the thing loose. And he's
look at Castro Neves diving in.
Wow.
He came from way back.
Sato, they're coming from everywhere to push him back, and Hunter-Reay is starting to leap away. And what with these guys fighting, it's done as it's compacted those front runners. Now all of a sudden Viso can have a look.
Sato just took all the air off the front of Castro Neves' car.
Castro Neves went in there, as you say, had to lift, got it all wrong, and big gap suddenly.
And Sato's in.
Sato was well within his fuel round though. He's going in, and once again those fronts absolutely abused from running in that dirty air of Ed Carpenter. Who's not going to be happy with Ed, who is showing the blue flag over and over and over. He's using his but he's away.
Yep, I think Will's got a good point there. That long run behind Ed Carpenter really took the not the stuffing out of Sato's tyres.
And that's how quickly you go a lap down here at the Milwaukee Mile as Ryan Hunter-Reay flashes by Takuma Sato. Key thing to watch is when Hunter-Reay and Castro Neves come in. Look in the background. You'll see EJ Viso shortly. He's not that far behind. He's only 2.7 seconds back. Here he is, the Venezuelan who has had a terrific run today.
Now, if you're Hunter-Reay's crew or Viso's crew, you start to ask yourself, we got to watch the lap time. When do we have to pit for fresh tires?
What about that storming run? Saavedra's in trouble. We hear he may have just tagged the wall. That's a shame. That's a real shame because he's running the top 10 all day.
I'm laughing because I feel sorry for this guy. He's out there hanging on. You can tell by the anxiety in his voice, I need to get in now.
Whoa.
Look at him up in that gray, and he is doing a heck of a job to keep that off the fence.
If he hit the wall, it wasn't much of a hit.
So he and Ed Carpenter did a tremendous job to keep it off the wall. Will standing by.
Vader is into his box. Team going to work at it pretty swiftly as Graham Rahal comes in ahead. They're not really taking too much of a look at the car. I think they're all just going to change the tyres and everything's good to go. He floors it, lets it go, and a nice start for Saavedra. No real check on how the damage to the car is doing.
Rahal in the minus entry, he's away as well. And all of a sudden, Ryan Hunter-Reay owns nearly a 4-second lead over Helio Castro Neves. This is going very well for the DHL Chevy.
This is the Andretti dominance in Milwaukee on setup coming into play. Hunter-Reay has a full 40 laps on his tires. He's still turning mid-23 second lap times. He is looking good right now.
The Indianapolis 500 winner Tony Kanaan even told us today, he said, Andretti just goes so well at this track. They roll off the trailer well. The cars perform here. Andretti has the secrets to Milwaukee. Back to second place.
Castro Neves, pretty quick also, just did a 156 mile an hour lap, which is flying. He's in clean air now. The question is, who is Hunter-Reay going to catch, and how much is that going to slow him down? Can he get by the next lap car?
And that next lap car is just down the road. They think he can go all the way to lap 235 within 15 of the end before he needs to pit. Back at the Milwaukee Mile here on your home of open wheel racing, the NBC Sports Network, and we are under a yellow. This happened just a few moments ago. Anna Beatrice, there's damage on the front wing, and this is the view from Graham Rahal's Midas machine.
Now Anna Beatrice a few laps down. She's only got 6 laps on the tires, goes to try to make a move, has the big washout, and just loses it there at the exit of 4.
To Jan Beekes. Jan?
And, of course, what we're going to see here is anyone who has not stopped, like EJ Viso, Ryan Hunter-Reay, you've got 3 of them in the triple box. They're all going to make these stops at the same time. They're going to lose some track position. Remember, Will Power now swings around the front as well. So Hunter-Reay, first one to let go. Castro Neves also, so position stays station. Although Viso, nope, a little bit slower, but still stays in his position, although one sneaks by.
So, in the closing stages, this sets up for a thrilling finish and is looking very, very strong for Andretti Autosport. Now, there may be a problem for James Hinchcliffe. I'm going to show you a replay of the stop, and I draw your attention to the right rear. Here comes the GoDaddy Chevrolet. Slight delay there. That's what it was. That's how quickly it happens here at the Milwaukee Mile. This man here, the defending series champion, defending race winner, Ryan Hunter-Reay, has been strong. Andretti Autosport strong all weekend. Will it be their day?
The man pioneers a way to see the unseen, leading to radar, forever providing early warnings and safer journeys. The conviction to create a safer journey is the Mazda way. The all-new Mazda 6 uses radar, lasers, and sensors to detect objects and even apply the brakes for you. Introducing the modern sports sedan, the all-new Mazda 6. What do you drive?
The name is Roosevelt. I always thought that cigarette smoking just messed up your lungs. I never thought that at only 45 would give me a heart attack. I never thought that it would stop me from playing basketball with my kids. Never thought that it would give me a scar like this. And I never thought that it would change my life forever. My tip is, do your heart a favor and quit now.
You can quit. For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
It's not about how you look. The new set of Firestones, it's about how you feel. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
The Stanley Cup Final, Bruins-Blackhawks, Game 2, tonight live 8 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network, because it's the Cup.
Let's get you caught up with a race recap of what has gone down here at the Milwaukee Mile. The blue-red car, Marco Andretti from the pole position, led the first 61 laps of this race. He was hounded by his Andretti Autosport teammate, Ryan Hunter-Reay. We skip ahead to lap 20, look up ahead, a spin, and that's Simona Di Silvestro. Did a good job, just tagged the wall just slightly on the end of that. Now look to the inside at the back of the pack here. No contact with the wall, but just under acceleration for the restart. Alex Tagliani spun the Barracuda Networks Ryan Herter Autosport machine. And then the big disappointment of the day, Marco Andretti with electrical issues. So he's now in a position of just playing catch-up for points. And then check this out, nervous moment.
Lap 181, Sato, while in the lead, loses it, gets up in the grade, does an amazing job to hold on to the lead.
And AJ Foyt at home just put his fingers through the couch when he saw that. And Sato hung on for as long as he could, but a storming Ryan Hunter-Reay just blasted by Helio Castroneves and Takuma Sato to take the race lead in his DHL Chevy. We're under our fourth full course caution for a total of 28 laps today. And as you see, 8 cars on the lead lap. Congratulations to Dario Franchitti, because he stayed out, cycled round, got himself back on the lead lap, and he is that 8th and final car. Plenty of Hawks fans here, considering how close we are to Chicago, and of course that reminder of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals Game 1 the other night. We mentioned it earlier in the show, 5th longest game in history, going into a triple overtime, and there have been plenty of people screaming Hawks here this weekend as they take a 1-0 lead in the series. That's coming up later tonight here on the NBC Sports Network, right after we're done here at the Milwaukee Mile. So who do you like? Do you like Helio Castroneves, the championship leader, who has never won here? Or do you like that yellow DHL Sundrop machine right there? A man who has won twice and is the defending series champion.
Well, they're going to be playing a game here to see whose nose is ahead on the start. Hunter-Reay gets an awesome jump. They're on brand new rubber. These guys can be brave in turn 1 if they want to.
Let's go racing, and it's big. Look at Will Power on the inside. Gets up the inside of Ed Carpenter. He wants to chase after his Penske teammate.
This is going to be a 3-car shootout for the win here. Hunter-Reay trying to take off, but Castroneves and Power staying right there. Let's see if Ed Carpenter helps out.
Carpenter, who is not on the lead lap, is not doing Will Power any favors as he tries to catch up to that lead duo.
And look at teammates Vizo and Hinchcliffe. You could put a piece of parchment paper between those 2 cars.
Hinchcliffe, 2 abreast, they go through that turn 2 and 3.
They've been fighting for many, many laps. The Target boys, they're in on the lead lap. Scott Dixon and Dario Franchitti. Takuma Sato, he's only 4.5 seconds back. Here's Hinch.
He's 4.5 seconds back, Lee, but he got absolutely the short end of the stick on that yellow coming out that allowed the other guys to make their pit. He pitted under green. He's got a lot of cars to pass on the track to get up into that battle.
Car 12, the Verizon car, is Will Power. 3rd place, but he's already 2.5 seconds behind race leader Ryan Hunter-Reay. 28 laps to go around the Milwaukee Mile. Vizo trying to clear Tony Kanaan.
That's what a driver does to help out when you're not on the lead lap. You can see Kanaan. I thought he was saying, I'll let you go, bud. Go ahead. Maybe he was saying, no, not now.
Yeah, and it helped Hinchcliffe because here comes the GoDaddy machine.
It did help him a lot, but he's trapped by
Canaan somewhat as they go into turn 3 and 4.
You may have noticed Power got by Ed Carpenter.
I don't know what one finger means in Brazil, but it apparently does not mean go ahead, pal.
Through goes Vizo. Hinchcliffe is lining up for a shot as well. There's 1.3 seconds between race leader Hunter Ray and Helio Castro Neves. By Briscoe goes Vizo. He's on the charge.
Yeah, and the guy who's going to have his work cut out here is Takuma Sato, who's got the oldest tyres of all his group on here now. He had to stop on the green, so his track position is absolutely awful.
Hunter Ray just clicked off a 161-mile-an-hour lap. He is flying, but that means he's going to catch the tail end of this pack real soon, and it's going to force him to work hard to stay ahead with that gap he's got over Castro Neves.
Oh, Dixon thought about it there on Hinchcliffe. The red target machine on the inside, Hinchcliffe on the outside. Here comes Dixon. He's a winner here at the Milwaukee Mile, and he has had to grind it out today.
Hinchcliffe was squeezing him hard. If I'm Dixon, I'm not going to like that.
There's traffic up ahead. Canaan is ahead of Hinch, so Dixon has another shot to catch up. All of a sudden, Hunter Ray has added a second to his lead over Castro Neves. 2.6 seconds now.
Again, that Andretti advantage at Milwaukee being thoroughly exercised right here. He's got an awesome car. Car number 1, clean air. Doesn't get any better than this for Hunter Ray.
That's what it looks like. Look in the background. Bye-bye, Helio Castro Neves.
Yeah, it's bye-bye, but it's a 1-mile oval. It's going to be hello at the tail end of this pack. Hello traffic real soon.
Does it play to Helio's advantage? How about Will Power? He's only 4.9 seconds back.
And Hunter Ray's first piece of traffic is teammate Marco Andretti.
Well, poor old Marco is down, 73 laps, 65 laps or something, so he's going to let him through, so sure.
Big championship swing here, Hobbo, for Andretti. It'll be to the advantage of Castro Neves and to Hunter Ray, but poor old Marco will see himself drop.
Precipitously, I'm afraid.
21 laps to go, and there's the points as they run. So Hunter Ray will come within 16. So coming into this race, Castro Neves had a 21-point advantage over Marco Andretti. Hunter Ray will assume that second position and lead Andretti Autosport car just 16 behind the Brazilian, if they stay as they are for another 20 laps.
Because later on in the race, some of these guys are getting a bit tired now. The track's getting slippery, especially up the line, and that's when you can make a mistake and bring out yet another caution.
Look at how fast Hunter Ray is catching the field. There is nobody even close to his performance right now. He's clicking off laps 159, 160, 161. He's got 3-4 miles an hour on the field.
He's 2 miles an hour faster than Helio Castro Neves.
Marco doing a great job to help him out, get low, allow Hunter Ray to keep clean air high.
These guys have been outstanding. When I say these guys, Andretti Autosport, with their demonstration of teamwork this year across all 4 cars, David. It's been quite remarkable.
It has been remarkable.
And you know what's crazy is we're talking about a spec formula here. The races have been so close. To come and dominate like this is amazing.
The Andretti family has 9 wins here. Mario and Michael combined. It's not going to be Marco's day, and it's certainly not going to be a day like it was in 1991, where 3 members of the Andretti family stood on the podium with cousin John, as well as Mario and Michael. But it could very, very well be an Andretti Autosport car driving to victory lane here at the Milwaukee Mile.
We have 17 laps to go, and Hunter Ray is just about to catch the part of the field that are not his teammates, that don't particularly care.
But
and there they are.
EJ Vizo, the second car in the Andretti stable, is down in 4th spot now, 10 seconds behind, so unlikely for them to get onto the podium.
You know what else is happening too? The Penske teammates are coming closer together. Will Power is catching Helio Castro Neves for second. And he's only at just a little over a second behind Castro Neves. We'll keep an eye on that.
This is where we find out how good is Hunter Ray going to be at the end of his stint here in traffic. He's already getting the negative effects of turbulent air off the back of Anna Beatrice, who's several laps down. I think it's a nice toe up there, easy pop to the inside. Now he's got James Jakes next.
Gets a good draft there off Anna Beatrice's car.
Every one of these passes is a buffer to Castro Neves. It is essential to be very, very clean and tidy and strategic about when to make that move and not lose position to Castroneves in terms of a gap.
One thing that's a joy to watch about Ryan Hunter-Reay is he is so smooth, David. He's not a ragged, he's not a loose driver, he's just complete, he's tight, and he's just so smooth. He drives like a champion because he is a champion.
He'll move, a lot of room.
No, he is a champion because he drives like a champion.
Now, what you're hearing there is his spotter saying he'll move. Critical part of the race here is Hunter-Reay's spotter going to the other spotters in the spotting stand and saying, hey, listen, we're racing for a win here. Help us out. And you see what happens there.
Clear.
James Jakes in the Acorn stair lifts machine makes life easy for Ryan Hunter-Reay.
12 laps to go. 12. You are plus 4.3.
4.3 to Castroneves. And between Castroneves and Power, it's only half a second. Are they going to be allowed to race to the end? Can Will Power overtake Helio Castroneves, the championship leader?
Exactly. That's going to be a tough call for the captain.
Here they are. Castroneves in the 3, the 12 of Will Power. Grinding away in the championship after a frustrating start. We're so used to him dominating the street and road course events. That has not happened this year. Power is winless, and this is round 9.
You know what's great to see is Will Power making a charge like this at the end of an oval race. Yes. We're used to seeing this at a street circuit, suggesting that the learning process is fully mature here for Will Power to come strong on a track like Milwaukee.
And of course, Will Power, his record in the last 3 years, losing the championship by just a handful of points, having led 3 championships in a row. Just absolutely must be wondering, am I ever going to win one of these championships?
Firestone extra mile performer goes to Helio Castroneves after starting 17th, is running second, and he has been that Firestone extra mile performer. Nice one. Inside 10 laps to go. Lead margin is still in excess of 4 seconds.
Drivers continue to do a great job moving out of the way for Hunter-Reay. In the drivers' meetings so far this year, anytime there's an argument, anytime there's an issue about etiquette, it's always Ryan Hunter-Reay that raises his hand and said, guys, do the right thing out there, respect your fellow drivers, and that's paying off big for him today.
Because if you don't do it, it's going to be you, and next time around, it's going to be in that situation where you're going to want to help us out. Well, you need help.
And obviously strategy in these races counts for so much, because Takuma Sato, who made that stop on green just before that caution flag, so he's got the oldest tyres. He's lapping 148, the leader's lapping 154. He just can't go any quicker.
Just updating you on former race leader Takuma Sato. He was hurt, as Townsend mentioned, by that caution when it fell. He's some 22 seconds behind in 7th place. Is Hunter-Reay on Charlie Kimball. Into turn 1 and able to do that conveniently. 6 laps to go. There have been 5 different winners on the last 5 outings here at the Milwaukee Mile. The last back-to-back winner was Tony Kanaan in 06-07, the current Indy 500 champion. RHR is looking good to go back-to-back today.
And Tony Kanaan's had a miserable day too. He really was speaking to you early on, said he was going to go for the high road on the opening laps to try and make up some ground, but in the end, the race hasn't ended up well for him at all, down in 10th spot.
Now, this thing's not over yet. There's 5 laps left. Now, Hunter-Reay is coming into the part of the field that is still racing for position. They can ill afford to be so kind as the other cars, because these guys, every point counts in this series, and they'll be fighting tooth and nail right in front of Hunter-Reay.
Look at that traffic ahead, and one car, the second car ahead, is Dario Franchitti trying to stay on the lead lap in 8th. And it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. Oh, teammates are together. Will Power on the inside of Helio Castroneves.
Power almost on the grass.
That answered our question. They are racing to the checkered flag. Wow, that was too close.
Well, that was close.
In Power's mind, this championship is not over for him. This is round 9 of 19. It hasn't started as he would have hoped, but he knows he can still claw his way back. Coming into this race, he was 12th in the championship standings.
If Power can get close enough side by side, it wouldn't surprise me to see at least one glove to get thrown at Castroneves, because that was too tight for guys that aren't on the same team, let alone teammates.
That was
winding it down. White flag for Ryan Hunter-Reay, the man who won from pole position at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama earlier this year in the second round of the championship. As a matter of fact, he's the only driver to win from pole position this year. He wasn't on the pole today. His Andretti Autosport teammate was. But the defending series champion and the defending race winner goes back-to-back to the Milwaukee Mile. And a race that's promoted by his team owner. He puts Andretti on top of the podium. You saw the Penske boys come across the line there. Helio Castroneves, series leader, holds on. Michael Andretti, so much work has gone into this weekend, and that's a nice way to end it. Let's hear from him.
Just on the radio now, giving congratulations to Ryan Hunter-Reay. That's 2 years in a row where you've dominated this race with Ryan. Looked like after the first pit stop, it really came to life.
Yeah, it did. You know, that yellow with Marco actually screwed us up. Otherwise, I think we were really looking good. But so it really made it interesting where we had to fight hard. And Ryan did a hell of a job. Guys did a great job in the pits, getting him out first. And brought another one home. So happy for DHL and everybody on the whole Andretti team. They did a great job this weekend.
I know it was a tough day for Marco, but your teamwork, we mentioned many times in the broadcast that all the way the team has been working together has made a big difference this year.
It's huge. You know, that's what it's about. It's all about teamwork. All four teams are working together as one, and it's no mistake we're getting results because of that.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
A thrilled Michael Andretti and a delighted Ryan Hunter-Reay, who joins his Andretti Autosport teammate at James Hinchcliffe as the only other multi-time winner in season 2013. What a period of 12, 18 months it's been for him. Great run last year, clinching the championship, the birth of his son, and now a two-time winner and certainly in this championship chase to defend it.
And two-time winner here, too.
Three-time now, two in a row.
Two in a row, and of course he's looking to do what he did last year. This starts off a run of triple wins, and he's thinking, boy, I can win in Iowa now.
Yeah. Confidence plus. Interested to hear that Penske team meeting debrief.
Yeah, I'm standing up here just sort of watching Castroneves get out and Will Power just to see if they might have a few words, but that's just wishful thinking of a guy that likes to see a little controversy now and then.
Confrontation.
I really do.
Well, I think it could be one of those, Elio saying, what were you doing? And Will saying, what are you talking about, mate?
That's pretty cool. You know, Hunter-Reay is he's just blown me away the last few years in terms of adversity, and he's just he's like Iceman these days in terms of battling back constantly, weekend after weekend. Anytime he's got a rough weekend, I know he's going to come back and just be so strong the next. And that's what it takes to win a championship.
Just keeps a cool head, David, doesn't he?
Well, I was just going to say, every time we've seen him interviewed by one of our pit guys this weekend, he's always been very straightforward, very good talking, and very cool and calm, and knows where he's going and how to get there.
You can see his wife, Becky, and their young boy there. That's a sweet sight.
And Father's Day weekend, what a gift. What a gift. Fantastic victory. The way he came storming through to get by Helio Castroneves and then Takuma Sato and not look back through that last cycle of stops and then pull away. Ryan Hunter-Reay, second win for 2013 and within 16 points of Helio Castroneves to lead this IZOD IndyCar series.
Well, of course, as Michael said, it was a great teamwork. I mean, all of his pit stops were absolutely perfect, not a hesitation. The car ran well. The setup was obviously terrific right from the word go on the front row yesterday afternoon in qualifying, and really just has been much in control of this race the whole time. I mean, Takuma Sato had a great run at one stage, but you knew it was going to win.
He wanted this one bad. He deserves it.
You think about for Michael Andretti there, his son was on the pole, led the first 61 laps of the race. As a father, you would want to see your son go on and win. And then he gets it, his other team driver goes on to claim yet another win.
Well, Michael was a racer long before he was a father, and I don't think that's left his blood one bit.
Young.
And, of course, Ryan Hunter-Reay, you kept saying you wanted to bring it into the DHL victory lane, and you did that. I have to first think about the fact this is your first Father's Day weekend. Congratulations. What a way to celebrate.
Man, I did it for that little guy, Ryan, my son. He's
6 months old, and couldn't be happier. Happy Father's Day, Dad, again. We did this again last year. Best dad on earth. I appreciate it. And, man, it's so great to win for DHL, Chevy, and DHL Victory Circle. And look at this. We got this little guy here.
Hi, Ryden.
The team just did awesome all day. We had varying levels of grip through the whole race, different levels of balance, and man, we just stuck with it. And in the end, we knew what we had to do to win, and what a race it was. It was a lot of fun, and man, I'm going to drink a lot of Sundrop tonight, I'll tell you that.
We were just showing a little bit of video of you and Marco. You were somewhat hesitant at first, but then you aggressively went by your teammate.
Well, you know, it's my teammate. I wanted to not go by too aggressive. You can't risk a teammate's race at all, so we had to make sure it was close. Look at this. He already wants the microphone. So, but thanks to my teammates, thanks to the whole Andretti team, just did an excellent job, and really happy to get back in the winner's circle at Milwaukee. This place has been so special to me, and have this little guy in victory lane is just magic, man. It's awesome.
Congratulations. 2 years in a row for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Springboarded his championship last year. What a way to go.
This is where it all began 12 months ago. The beginning of 3 wins in a row in that 2012 championship to vault him to his very first IZOD IndyCar Series title. The defending race winner is a winner again. We mentioned earlier in the show, it's part of the NBC Sports Championship season. Huge game tonight on NBC Sports Network. Bruins Blackhawks, game 2, following on from that opening game, which was phenomenal. And it's right here on your NBC Sports Network when we're done here at the top of the hour. Let's get it down to Kevin.
I want to drive by this guy from 17th up to the front, a runner-up, still our championship leader. What kind of day was this?
Wow, first of all, let me thank PPG, V-Power, Hitachi, SKF, Verizon, everybody. Certainly it was a great day for us. Started from the back, man. It was a tough. Yesterday I was like, man, I stayed long talking to Jonathan, my engineer, said, what are we going to do with the car, man? It was tough. Today it was definitely paid off. We were a little conservative. We have to be patient. But in the end, it was a great job for the PPG boys. Very, very happy. It's a great present. It's not a win, but you know what? I'm very, very happy for Father's Day, and happy Father's Days, including mine, for everyone.
Tell me what you're thinking late in the race when your teammate Will Power comes up on you there. Did you know he was coming, and how close was that?
I did. I was a little upset with traffic because we were talking about 10 laps to go, and I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, it's not necessary to stay there or just move a little bit or crack the throttle. So when I saw him there, I'm like, whoa, I didn't. Then Rick Mears, my big spotter, told me, inside. I was like, sorry, Rick, I'm already moving. But in the end of the day, it was a great day for Team Penske's for second and third. Good job, Will, and now we got to keep moving on.
Yeah, Power got down on the grass, but he hung on to it. So you, as I mentioned,
he can handle the grass.
He can handle. Yeah, he's an off-road kind of guy. So that's the only thing left in your career. We're about to the midpoint of the season now, is winning a championship. How focused are you on that as we move forward throughout the season? You want to win races, but
hey, we got to keep doing what we're doing. That's the only thing I can say. I can't think about championship because right now we have a lot of race to go. But right now we think step by step. You can't count from 1 to 10 without going through 2, 3, 4. You got to go step by step, and that's what we're doing. Thank RP. Thank, again, everyone from Team Penske. Great job, everyone. Man, I'm so happy today.
I was told there'd be no math, no more counting. This guy's finished every lap this season. He's the only guy that's done that. That's your championship leader and runner-up today, Helio Castroneves. Over to Will.
Helio Castroneves, Mr. Will Power, says that you're an off-road kind of guy, that you can handle that kind of stuff. You had to handle it, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I was close. I wanted to race him very cleanly because he's leading the championship, but it was an easy pass. I'd go for it. But I was like, man, I don't want to take you out. You don't have to squeeze me that tight. But still a good result for Penske. You know, Helio continues to get good points, and cool to get the Verizon 12 car up on the podium. But, you know, we just got to keep chipping away. You know, for the meantime, kind of help out Helio as much as I can. But if I can beat him, I will, and make some hay on the championship.
That's the thing. There's a long way to go in this championship. You don't want to help him out too much, do you?
Well, you know, in situations like that, obviously, if I was right there with him in the points, I could be a lot more aggressive. But, hey, man, you know, it's a Team Penske. It's all about the team, and, you know, we've got to keep that in mind.
Listen, man, talk to the fans back at home, because people watching this on TV, I think they need to know about the physicality of this place. You just done 250 laps. You look fresh as a daisy. You know, you could go on and run again. I'm sure you don't want to, but just tell us about the physicality of this place, what it means to get on the podium after what is a hugely physical race.
I'm stoked to get on the podium after the year we've had. It seems like the ovals are getting our best results right now, but man, that was physical. Like a lot of G-force, you have maximum downforce here, so cornering speed's really high, but and you got to remain very focused because it's obviously such a short lap. You're always in a corner and you're always in traffic, lap traffic, so very happy for the Verizon car to get that result.
Bravo, well done. Great to see you back on the podium again, man. Congratulations. Nate?
Will, and isn't it odd to say that was the first podium for Will Power in a racing season here at the Milwaukee Mile? Best result of the season.
You know, he says it's all about Team Penske, but David, it sure seemed like it was all about Helio Castroneves going into turn 3. That was very close.
It was incredibly close. That right front was just so close to the left rear of Helio that
a couple of your is this your service department?
This is my
here
friend, yeah.
Entertaining.
Straight in from David Hobbs Honda.
I saw one of these guys on a unicycle.
We'll try and get Hobbo up there after we finish off the air. Hey, so much more to come from the Milwaukee Mile.
Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile, just outside the city of Milwaukee, and a great race today, a very hard-fought race, and a fantastic result for E.J. Viso, who has his best finish here, at least in Milwaukee, as a 4th. But you got a chance to lead, but then something in a pit stop that put you back?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had an issue in the second to last stop that put me behind, put me back to 8th or 7th, and then I needed to recover. We had a car that was able to win the race. We had a good strategy going. I was battling with Ryan, my teammate. You know, one of us was going to be the winner, and of course he's the winner now. But I think that little mistake in the pit put me behind. Then at the last restart, Ed Carpenter didn't help me at all. Like driving with 2 or 3 laps down, just blocked me for no reason. And at that point, I pretty much lost the gap, lost the contact with the 3 guys in front of me, and that was it for me.
But you have to be encouraged by that. I mean, when you come in and there's a pit stop and there's a problem with a wheel gun, you still have to be encouraged about the fact how fast you were and how fast the car was.
No, definitely. I'm very grateful of the car that the team is keep giving me, and I believe that we're very close on winning a race. We've shown in every race this year the performance that we have, putting fast laps together, qualifying already 6 times in a row in the top 5, and we're just very close. I keep fighting and just looking on to Iowa right now.
Very, very close, and Iowa should be a good track for E.J. Viso. Will?
Standing by with James Hinchcliffe. Hinch, mate, given where you started, given where you finished, is it a disappointment, or is it, I mean, we were talking earlier, you said it's just a huge result to finish the top 5 here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think anytime you're in the top 5 in a series as competitive as the IndyCar series is right now, it's a good day. You know, it's just, for us, starting on the front row, you always wanted a bit more, but after where we were in practice, we got to be happy with this and getting the GoDaddy car in the top 5. I feel like we had the single car pace to do it, but we were a little bit off in traffic, and man, I feel like I spent 200 of those 250 laps behind some lap car, and you waste time, you waste tires, you lose positions. It was definitely a lot of work out there today, but congrats to Ryan, obviously happy for him, and the 3 finishing Andretti cars in the top 5. We're doing something right.
You certainly are doing something right. Listen, Ernie was talking about it earlier. How difficult is it on a short course oval to deal with lap traffic, and how good are some of the guys and how bad are some of the other guys? Because there was clearly a difference between those who did help and those who didn't help out today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Will, because there are some guys out there laps down that are driving you like it's the last lap of the race for the win, and they're using every inch of the racetrack top to bottom, just making it absolutely impossible. And then you get other guys like TK, super respectful. He'll run you for a couple laps. If you can't get by, he'll crack the throttle and let you by. And it's a respect thing. And the thing is, I mean, it's going to be the same guys next week, and the same guys next week, and the same guys the week after that. If you keep ticking people off, man, it's going to come back and bite you. So I know there's some guys frustrated. I'm certainly frustrated at a couple people, but it's the nature of short track racing.
Speaking of which, I think we're going to Kevin.
Scott Dixon has had a lot of success here. A good run today in 6th. Would have liked a little better, and I know you're one of those that real happy with lap traffic late in the race.
Yeah, it was a tough day. You know, we just fought balance. We had some understeer and some oversteer at different parts of the race, and got lucky, I think, on some of those yellows. But the team did a great job on pit stops. You know, we gained a lot of spots in the pits. Huge credit to Team Target for that. But yeah, last restart, you know, TK did a really weird thing. You know, before the restart, moved me up into the outside lane. I was all up in the grey and lost about 3 or 4 spots, and then had to chase for that back. So not really sure what happened there. It was kind of weird.
Did you talk to him after the race?
Yeah, I spoke to him a little. You know, he said he didn't do it on purpose, but you know, I think if you look at the restart there, it's pretty obvious what he was up to.
Etiquette. He's a lap down. He's got a guy behind you that he's racing with for position. Does he need to get out of the way to let those on the lead lap keep going?
Well, you know, later on, I think it was more the situation that he let Hinch by, but then wouldn't let me by. You know, he kind of lifted. You know, it is tough. You know, it's a tough back, you know, track to pass it, especially this year seemed to be more of a single groove until later in the race where you could really fight on the bottom. But, you know, we'll work it out. I don't know what the deal was there. But, you know, I think we could have finished maybe a couple of spots further up had we not fallen back on that last restart. But, you know, we still got a lot of work to do. We're not a great team right at the minute.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Scott Dixon.
An honest assessment there from Scott Dixon, who knows how to win. This man knows how to win. Michael Andretti. Not only is Andretti Sports Marketing the promoter of this event, but boy, he is racking up the victories as a team owner. Look at the legendary names of teams here. Newman Haas, Roger Penske. Look down the bottom. Michael Andretti is only 2 wins away from sharing that honour with the captain. And when we come back, we'll talk with the man who led 109 laps, Takuma Sato.
Milan Lucic scored twice, but his Boston Bruins fell in triple overtime. Tonight, they'll take on Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks, looking to even up the series at a game apiece. NHL Live gets things started at 7 Eastern.
Let's take a look at those final results from the Milwaukee IndyFest at the Milwaukee Mile. It was fun for some, but not all. For Ryan Hunter-Reay, his 3rd victory at the Milwaukee Mile, his 2nd of this season. Penske then locked out the podium. EJ Viso gets his 2nd best result on an oval. Dixon and Frank Kitty had to fight hard. We're going to talk to Takuma Sato in a moment, and Justin Wilson and Tony Kanaan squeaked their way into the top 10. It's all about points, but look at that. Top 5 Chevrolet power.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at those bow tie logos and thinking, well, that's kind of how everybody predicted this was going to be Chevy strong, but those are the top 5 best handling cars. I think it's less about power here of all racetrack, a lot about handling, David.
Absolutely. Now you see the rest of the runners. Joseph Newgarden finished down 11th. He must be a bit disappointed. Christian Vautier was going very well early on, but somehow he got left out in the lurch and got down there in 21st. Not what he wanted. Sebastian Bourdais made that fantastic first lap, and then it all went wrong.
Well, after leading 109 laps and finishing 7th, I wonder how Takuma Sato feels. He's with Jan.
Well, I have to say, Lee, I know that we all enjoyed watching Takuma Sato. That was a heck of a race out there. They were slicing and dicing, leading, charging from the back. But then you got high. You started to slide out high. Was the tires at that point starting to give up?
Yeah, I think we need some investigation, though. We were really happy. You know, by middle of the stint or middle of the race, we were so strong. And but at that time, the sudden loss of the grip on her stability lost, and then I got high. And then since then, the next 2 stint, we never really gave the back the speed where we had it.
Now, how does that shake your confidence? I know that Larry Foyt said on the radio immediately, way to gather it up, but that was a huge moment.
It was a huge moment. I think what didn't harm to my confidence. I mean, it was a similar situation at the qualifier we had it. I thought we could have brought the good smile to the AJ today, and by middle of the race, we thought this is the day, you know, we're really walking away, but unfortunately the last 2 stints we lost it, and we had unfortunately the yellow flag too, so it's racing, but it was a really hard day.
It was fun to watch, and it was the best finish, at least here from Milwaukee, for Takuma Sato.
And there's been some big movement in the championship standings, Jan. Take a look at this. Marco Andretti goes from being 21 points behind Castro Neves to drops to 3rd and 50. Ryan Hunter-Reay is now within 16, so that's nice and tight. The man we just heard from, Sato, jumps up a position to 4th. Tony Kanaan lost a couple. Frank Kitty manages to hold himself in that top 10. We've got a championship on our hands.
We do. The guy I'm looking at is Scott Dixon. Smooth and steady, just slowly climbing his way to the front.
You're busy. In a couple of weeks, you're off to do Global Rallycross in Munich. Good luck with that.
Thanks a lot. It's going to be fun in a Royal Purple Ford.
And Hobbo, it's been fabulous having you here. Did you have a good time?
Well, it's been great to be here too.
Stay away from this. Stay away from this.
Yes.
Cream puff battle.
That reminds me of Brian Redmond at the Elkhart Lake at the Seepkins Resort many years ago.
Is that a local delicacy, David? Cream puffs?
Cream puffs, exactly, yeah. We'd have to go to the circuit.
Well, listen, thanks. You were hospitable the other night in hosting the NBC gang at your own house, you and Margaret, so thanks for your hospitality. Thanks for your insight. It's always fun. That was a great race.
It was a terrific race. There's no doubt about it. It always is here at Milwaukee. The weather was kind. We thought this morning it was raining. We thought it might be all off, but it went away, and good race and a good crowd.
And the championship continues next weekend with another oval at Iowa Speedway. You can watch that with our IndyCar friends on ABC. But for now, a quick reminder that the NHL Stanley Cup Finals are coming up next. Coverage begins first up with the NHL Award Show. The Eyes on IndyCar series continues here on the NBC Sports Network Saturday, July 13 at 3 Eastern for the first of 2 races in Toronto. And F1 Steve Matchett will be joining us for that. As always, for more information on the series, log on to NBCSports.com. We congratulate Ryan Hunter-Reay for winning, and we thank you for watching the Eyes on IndyCar series on your home of open wheel racing, the NBC Sports Network.
Is the man who's won the Tour de France.
The NBC Sports Network thanks you for watching this presentation of the Eyes on IndyCar series.